Well, hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the first Friday Night Live Squatching After Dark in a couple of weeks. Sorry, a couple of weeks ago I wasn't feeling all that good. Last week we were at a concert, but we are back and we have got, I think, a good live plan for tonight. I've been looking forward to this one. It's a channel that I really love. Just if you love to travel, if you even love to think about traveling, these guys are the ones to watch. And they have led me to a bunch of other channels that I love to watch. I get to travel vicariously through them, and it's so much fun. Get to go see the camping sites and everything. So, of course, we have Happy Place Camping coming on tonight as my guests. Just a couple of quick announcements. Tonight is going to be the first Squatch Squad members only race, and it's going to be for one of my hoodies. You know what? I should have had it out here. 1 second. Let me go show you what one of these looks like. Hey. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I should have had it out here. But here is the hoodie, and it's really nice. I like this. This is a good quality hoodie. So, the race tonight for the members only race is going to be for the Squatch hoodie. And then if we can get it up to 60 likes, we'll do a race for a t-shirt for everybody to join in on. Also, I want to let everybody know that I've been debating on what I wanted to do for my 1,500 subscriber giveaway. I'm still a little ways away from there, but I think what I want to do, instead of doing a magnet, I want to do some Squatch merchandise, some Squatch Squad or some Squatch swag. So what I think I'm going to do when I get to 15 is probably do one of the hoodies, do a shirt, and maybe a mug or something. I'll figure something out. I've got a little ways to go before I get there, but I think what I'm going to do for my 1,500 subscriber giveaway is a Squatch swag giveaway. And then when I get up to the 2,000, then we'll look at doing a magnet again. So I think that'll be pretty cool. Also, I do have some mail that I want to open. I really appreciate everybody for sending anything to me. I got a sticker board. I'm about to have to rearrange my sticker board and make everything a little bit tighter so I can get some more on here. And then I might end up having to get myself a new board here at some point in time. But let's get into the mail. The first one, I'm not sure who this is from yet, but let's get it opened if I can get into it. I should have had this open before. All right, back. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, don't run with a knife in your hand. All right. Let's see who this first one is from. I think that's everything. This is from Saskatchewan Fisher. Right on. I like that one. That's a cool sticker right there. Heck yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's going up on the board. All right. I got to keep that because I'm going to have to get some stuff to him. All right. The next one here. This one is coming from Fiji. All the way from Fiji. From Natalie Williams over in Fiji. All right. Let's open this one up. Let's see what we got here. Make sure I got everything. All right, we got a letter. She says, "Hello, Squatch. I hope this letter finds you well and life is all fun and smiles. Just to say thank you for your support. And I hope to see many more of your videos and keep the live streams alive. Thank you. As Christmas is looming, I hope you and your family have a very, very nice Christmas, and that Santa is kind to you. Santa's always kind. All the best, and have a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate that so much. Let's see here. We got some, what is it? I guess Eaton Beach treasures right there. All right. I got, she sent me quite a few. So I've got some of these that I can put in some sticker packs. That is awesome. I love that. I got some sticker packs to put together anyways. That's cool. Thank you so much. All right. And we got one more to open here. Now I have to grab my tacks and get these stickers up on the board. All right. Note to self. Go ahead and open everything before the live and have it ready to go. All right. Who do we have here? Hey, this is from Finders of the Forgotten. That was a great live with them. Those are some fun guys, and they have got a great channel and their TikToks. I love their TikToks. If you're not following Finders of the Forgotten, Etten Beach, I'm just saying Etten Beach. I might be saying it wrong. Etten Beach Treasures right there. And Saskatchewan Fisher. Make sure you get over there and check them out. I'm sorry. You got, sorry it took so long to get this out to you, but Nick and I wanted to say thanks again for having us on your show. Swinging and Beeping, Dennis and Nick. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. That was a fun live. That really was. I've actually enjoyed having some of these channels come on here and talking and chatting and getting to know them and finding out a little bit more about them. That's one of the things I love about doing that is it brings that sense of getting to know not just the channel, but the people on the channel, so you have a connection. So, and speaking of connections, hold on. I want to get these up on the board first. Let me get my tacks. I just got back from bowling. And I was running a little late, so I'm trying to rush around to get everything, and I didn't have a chance to get everything set up like I wanted to. I do appreciate you guys sticking with me here. So we're going to get Finders of the Forgotten up here. Let's see, there's a good spot for them. Saskatchewan Fisher. Put him right up there above Brockton. And it's a big one, so we're going to squeeze her in right there. There we go. I'm going to have to get up here, like I said, and kind of rearrange things and make it a little bit tighter up there, but we'll get that done. So, who's messaging me over here? All right. Outdoor. Okay. Yep, let me do that. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping here, get in here and find some people who need a wrench. Okay. Whoops, sorry. Oh, Johnny Small Pepper, you're going to get a wrench. Now, the reason I do wrenches for anybody who's new is because I want you to be able to share your channel, share your social media. That way everybody has a chance to follow you, go take a look at all your social media channels and everything, and we can help to build the community. So we're going to get that settled right now, I think. So I appreciate that, Mary, for letting me know that. All right, guys. I think it's time that we go ahead and bring up the guest for the night. We got Felicity and Jesse from Happy Place Camping. Again, I love following their adventures and where they go. It just, you get to sit back and actually feel with the way they do things, like you're there, and with the history and everything. So, guys, without further ado, let's bring up. Let me. There we go.
There we go.
Right on. How you doing, guys?
Good.
It's been a long time coming getting to have this set up and worked out and everything. So I really appreciate you guys taking time to make it happen with me.
No problem.
No problem.
It's like we've got a good group of people in here tonight. Some channels that I haven't seen before, some channels that I have. So this is going to be interesting getting to share everything with a group of new people. I love that.
Yeah, I saw several I haven't seen before.
I'm trying to keep up with all the new so that I can make sure if they've got a channel to get them a wrench to make sure that they're able to share. And if I miss anybody, I do apologize. I'm certainly not missing you on purpose. So if I do, just let me know. That way I can get that fixed. So other than that, how are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing all right.
All right.
We survived the storms. There was there was a lot of tornadoes and stuff out tonight. We had hail earlier, and I was like, oh, that would just be wonderful if we lost our power and everything. We're supposed to be alive tonight. No, we didn't lose any power, and luckily we did not have any tornadoes, but there was some south of us, and I guess there's a few over in Tennessee right now. We're kind of got the weather on, but yeah, turbulent weather night.
Glad you're safe. Hope everything stays calm so we can keep this going.
Yeah.
So as I do with everybody, introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Whatever you want to tell us, how you met, how you got going with camping. You don't have to get into how you met, but just that kind of stuff. Let everybody have a chance to know a little bit about the two of you.
Okay. Well, we met in a Walmart or in a McDonald's parking lot.
I like cheeseburgers.
Yes. Yeah. Well, him and some friends were cruising around in a truck, and I was with a friend of mine, and we were already graduated from high school, but they didn't know that, and they were chasing us around, and we finally pulled over, and then long story short, he forgot my name, forgot my phone number, but he did catch up with me again uptown later, the next night or two. And yeah, so, and I don't know, he wouldn't go away. So I just went ahead and married him, and there you go.
Yeah, 28 years.
20. I was about to ask how long y'all been married.
Yeah. We got two kids. They're adults. They're all grown and out of the house and taking care of themselves. And so we kind of decided, well, really neither of our kids were big on traveling. Our daughter didn't mind going places, but if you've watched any of our hiking videos and how, I'm kind of lazy and she's worse. And I mean, it's like bad. We went to, Seven Falls in Colorado years ago, and there's a lot of stairs to the top. I was in a lot better shape then, and I was breathing pretty hard, and she wasn't even halfway up. You're ruining the whole vacation. She's probably watching this, but yeah, so she was never big on really the whole aspect of the physical aspect of, so like hiking, stuff like that was kind of out of the question. And then my son, and if he's watching, he can't deny it, he would always pout, and I don't know, he's a homebody. He didn't like to travel, he didn't like to go. So I mean, we still went and did, the yearly family vacation thing, but it was always kind of a, gosh, we wish we kind of hadn't done this. But so once they're all gone, we're like, okay, well, we're going to start going places. So we did. Usually it was hotels, and, everybody knows hotels are expensive. And especially if you get into a really touristy type area, then you really pay out the nose. But what was it? It would have been the first part of 2019. And we took our Hummer and we went down to Texas, and we had Darby, and we slept in the Hummer and we camped down there. And how long was that trip? Several days.
Yeah.
And it turned out okay, and we were like, hey, but then we were kind of like, it'd be kind of nice to actually have like a camper. And so we, kind of just said it and then didn't do anything about it. And he started watching videos on YouTube of cargo builds. And, and he's like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm like, we can't do that. We have no carpentry skills. And he will be one of the first to admit it. He cannot cut a straight line. If it's drawn in a line this thick, he cannot cut a straight line. I'm like, we can't do this, But the more we watched them, it's like, man, that would be really kind of cool. And so that's kind of how that got started. So we got a little cargo trailer, and most of what's in that cargo trailer is actually repurposed. There's a lot of pallet wood in that cargo trailer. That all the pallets were free. So, and we kind of went with that rustic look, that way when the lines aren't straight.
It's supposed to be that way.
Plus, I kind of like the rustic, sort of a little bit of a Barney type feel or something like that. But
who wants straight lines anyways?
Right. That's boring. Everybody does straight lines, but
That's too modern, not enough rustic.
Yeah, there you go. So that's how the whole cargo trailer thing came about, and that's why we have it, and we love it. We do. But then here recently we've kind of been talking about, we can squeeze that cargo trailer into some of the smallest spaces, and we have. But we've also been in some spots where we're kind of like, ooh, bump, this is rutted out. Oh, this is this or whatever. It's kind of still not accessible, some of the places that we try to go. So we decided we were going to build out our Hummer because we already knew we could do it. We knew we could sleep in it because we've done that before. So we decided to kind of take it a little bit farther and actually build a bed platform, and we've got storage area, and we went ahead and got the Blue Eddy and all that kind of stuff to power us, and so we can do some overlanding and go to some of those places that we really can't take the cargo trailer or would rather not take it. So sometimes it's inconvenient just to be pulling the trailer.
Right.
You're going through a city or something, and you're like, oh man, we could stop and see that. No, we can't, because we can't find a place to park.
We drove through Houston one time, and there was like I just stayed in the center lane, and I said, I don't care if we got to go to the bathroom, we're staying on the highway because I am not getting off in this traffic.
Yeah, Houston was bad. Houston was bad for traffic, and it was really early in the morning on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So is there room for your bucket potty in there?
Yes. We have
that video killed me.
Yeah, that's still our most popular video. That's so retarded. But
it's amazing, isn't it?
People need to do it, so I guess that's why. But yeah, we have videos coming out. Actually, probably starting this Tuesday, we'll start doing putting out the build videos and stuff of the Hummer, and then we're going to actually next weekend we're going to take it on a little trial run. We're just going to go to a campground with some friends, and because we want to really sleep in it for a weekend and see, are we missing anything? Is there something we need to do different, or should we add this or take this away, or, whatever, before we go on some kind of, week or two long trip,
right?
Hundreds of thousands of miles or whatever.
That's good thinking. Good thinking right there.
So we're planning on doing that, and we figure, we'll video that test run and stuff, but otherwise, it'll be a little bit probably before any actual, overlanding stuff comes out for that. But,
that'll be interesting. That's going to be so neat to see that put together and see how it works for you and how just the layout of it once it's finished and how it works for you guys. That's really going to be interesting. And just the fact that you thought about doing that, I think is really cool.
Well, we follow a lot of channels that, well, I have one that I watch pretty regularly, and they have a Toyota pickup, I think it is, and they do the rooftop tent thing, and
Right.
so we talked about doing that too. And, because that's kind of cool, but then I'm like, couldn't a bear just climb right up that ladder? I don't know. I'm just not, I kind of like to have some harder walls between me and nature, that kind of nature. So,
Well, you've seen Jigging with Jordan. He's one of the guys that hangs out with D Almighty. You got Jake, Brandon, and Tristan, the three of them. But Brandon is Jigging with Jordan. It's his channel. He's big. Okay. He's big into going out and camping and everything as well, and the fishing and all that stuff. And he bought a new truck, and he has a big topper on the back of it, and he turned the back of his truck into his camper. And he's got everything he needs in there, the lights and little heater and the fans and his little cot and everything. And it was pretty cool to watch him transition that into the same thing. And I'm picturing that in a Hummer now. So I think that'll be really cool to see.
Yeah, we talked about that was one of the things we kind of was like, well, we could just like get a camper shell or something and do the back of the truck, but it would have to be something, fairly simple that could be removed and yeah.
It is easier to shoot through a tent.
That's true. That's true. But then we were like, well, our truck's not 4-wheel drive. So it's not even really as capable as, what we would want. And, the Hummer's the 4-wheel, it's just the baby Hummer, but it gets around very well, in winter and things like that. We don't really plan to do a lot of overlanding in severe weather, like snow and stuff. But hopefully. Yeah, but should we be somewhere and get caught in a little bit of snow, I'm not too worried about it because that thing's very capable in the snow. So,
and you're not having to pull a trailer while you're driving.
So I don't worry about the driving stuff. He does all that. I can, but I don't want to.
Well, now the big question is, will there be room for Darby for all that?
Yes. She has her own spot in the back of the Hummer that she'll be sleeping. So, yep, she'll be going with me. She'll probably like it because the way it's set up is he's going to actually just sleep in the passenger seat because it lays so far back that it's almost like a bed. So he's just going to do that. And we made like a platform, but we have a 60-40 split, and we took the 60 and laid it down and made that. And luckily I'm not a tall person. So I fit between the back door and the back of the driver's seat. So it's perfect fit. And then there's that 40 of the back where Darby will sleep. And I'm sure she'll love it because she'll be right there in my face all night.
Right. Just hope there's no doggy gas.
Oh, yeah. She has the worst. I don't know what it is about boxers, man. I'm telling you, sometimes she kills me. I hadn't thought about that.
We may have to look into a fan, some ventilation or something.
Yeah, no kidding.
A can of Febreze or something.
Turn the fan on. Hurry.
It's 30 below. We don't care.
Those back windows don't roll down.
If you guys are at a campsite and you all of a sudden jump out of either side door, everybody will know why.
Yep. So
something else I wanted to ask you guys, because watching you guys and watching a lot of the other channels and seeing some of the stuff they do and how they, some of them are coming up in those, the big fifth wheels and some, in the big RVs and whatnot. What kind of ideas do you guys come up with, or do you see from other campers and travelers that you try to implement that just like you see it and it's like, that's genius? What's some of the best stuff you've seen other people do?
Well, actually, it's funny you asked that because, we're limited storage in this the way we, we kind of are even without beds in there. It's
Right.
really not that big. It's pretty small inside. But one of the channels, Mobang Foyo Bucks is the channel name, and he has built out, can you remember? A
It's a
Toyota
Scion.
Sienna, a Scion.
Some other real little vehicle.
Yeah, and I think he's starting to work on a new minivan that I kind of think he's a little bit addicted to the building out, which I get because, we kind of keep talking about possibly doing another cargo trailer because there's just something about it, I don't know. It's very rewarding.
And I think once you figure out that you can do it and you can make it functional,
yeah,
you want to do more.
Right. And then there's I could have done this.
Right.
Yeah.
This a little better. I could add this. Yeah.
Yep. So we've kind of, we've rolled that around before, but whether we do or not, I don't know. But he had an idea of using I can't remember if he actually used a shower rod, but that's what I use. Same idea, but hooking it from your OPU handles to OPU handles on one side and the other. And then I can't remember exactly what he put on his, but his idea of what he did gave me the idea, and I'm not going to tell because it'll be a video, but it gave me an idea of how to create some storage for us that we won't have to worry about really being in our way. It's kind of up and out of the way. We won't have to move it while we're driving because it's not going to get in the way for that. But it's going to hold all our clothes. And, if I hadn't watched his video on that, I don't know if I'd have thought of that on my own, So to me, I was like, oh, that's so smart, because that's just space up there, wasted space. You're not using that. So yeah, to me, that was great. And there's no drilling into the vehicle and, making shelves because we didn't want to do that. We want it all to still be removable. So if we put the seats, which the bottom parts of the back seats we took out, but the top parts are still in there. So, but we can put all that back in, take all that bed frame stuff out that we've built, all that can come out. We can go right back to it just being a vehicle. If something happens and we absolutely hate doing this, which I kind of doubt, but if we did, we haven't ruined the vehicle by putting holes in it and, or something like that.
Well, good. You just answered one of the questions I was going to ask. So there we go. Because I was thinking about that too. If you're doing all this, what happens if you need to use it as a family vehicle one day?
Yes. And then that's what we said when we were doing is I don't want it to be a permanent setup. I still want to be able to remove everything. Should God forbid something happen, to our truck and we need that for our main vehicle or something for a while, we need to have room in there,
Yeah.
So,
Well, we kind of did that with the cargo trailer too, because we can actually still use that as a cargo trailer. All that stuff is easily basically slid out.
Yeah.
If need be.
Yeah. So, the only thing we can't remove is the front counter.
Yep.
That it's all stationary at the very front, but Darby's bed, the little sink vanity area, our clothes shelves, the bed, the bunk beds, all that is removable. We can pull it all out. It would probably take us a good half hour to pull it all out. But if we really needed to use that cargo trailer for hauling something, we could.
Well, that's cool. See, then that's smart thinking. Don't mess it to the point to where you can't use it for something if you need it to. That's good.
Yep.
Something I've always wondered from you guys, and knowing that you guys traveled with the family and everything, when you guys first went out on your own and first decided to start just traveling without the kids, just the two of you, where was the first place you went?
was New Orleans, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we went to New Orleans.
New Orleans. Bourbon Street.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah. That is an experience. I don't know if I would ever necessarily go back, but it was something I wanted to do, and that is like a whole other world down there. That is something different, just that street alone. But I will say, while we were down there, and that it was a hotel stay, of course, because we weren't camping and stuff then, but man, everybody was so nice. All the ladies in the hotel, they were so helpful, and we were very pleased with that trip. So it made us want to go ahead and go to some of the more, I guess, touristy, bigger attractions than what we normally did.
Right. Yes. So one of my favorite things about New Orleans, other than just it was a really cool place. I was there when I was in high school, was a band trip. And so, I was a teenager when I was there. So I didn't get to do all the adult things for New Orleans. But one of my favorite things about that place was the food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My God, that was some good food.
Yep. They have very good food. I can't remember what I ate, but I remember I liked it. It was some kind of a gumbo. And then I can't remember what else we had.
Well, we actually have some RV buddies, YouTube buddies that actually live in northern Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down there for a meetup last April. And that whole food thing must just be a Louisiana thing.
Southern Creole.
Oh my goodness. I was miserable, and I can eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
And it was
when you're miserable because it's so good that you can't stop.
I can't stop.
Yes.
And they just kept bringing it out.
Yeah, it was. You would have thought she was feeding the whole town. There was so much food, and I'm not complaining.
Oh no.
Ugh, she was a good cook. Such a good cook. It was delicious, every bit of it.
And the flavors that they use, the spices, just absolutely blow your mouth up. It's incredible.
Yep.
So, where would you say is your absolute favorite place you've ever been?
For me, it would have to be the Oregon coast. I can't swim. Water scares me because I'm afraid of drowning. I'm not really afraid of water, but I am afraid of drowning. So, but for some reason, I love to camp near water and see it. And, that's just like my favorite. Hear it. Yes, I love it. So funny story about that trip. We actually, this was back last year at the end of June. Yeah, at the end of June or towards the end of June. And because of the Big C thing, he's a supervisor, and they come to him and said, okay, well, because most of them were getting kind of partially laid off, work this many hours a week, but he was a supervisor. So they kind of gave all the supervisors an option. Either you take a cut and pay or you take a 2-week furlough. So, he's like, calls me. He's like, hey, I'm like, take the furlough. We're taking a vacation. So, because I knew I always wanted to go. I always wanted to go to the Oregon coast and see all that, because I've seen the videos. It's pretty. But I knew that would be such a long trip that we would never be able to do it in just a week's vacation. I knew we were going to have more time. So we took that 2 weeks, and that's what we did. And we had went up through, how'd we go? We went up through Nebraska, Wyoming, went down through Yellowstone, the Grand Tetons, went over into Idaho to what was that moon?
Craters of the Moon.
Craters of the Moon. And then went over into Oregon, spent we went to Crater Lake. Oh, man, Crater Lake is gorgeous. You see pictures of it, but it's nothing until you stand in there. It's just beautiful. But so then we went on over to the Cook Coast and we stayed there for 3 days because, you know, that was kind of the point of the trip. But then we made our way back down through California and stopped at the Redwoods and then hightailed it out of California. No offense to anybody from California, but I was not impressed. Those people were some of the not so friendliest people I've ever met. Let me put it that way. Every stop we made, I have never met so many grumpy people in my life, you know. Anyway, so I was pretty happy to leave California, but the Redwoods were really cool. But we got over into Nevada and we stayed a couple of nights in Nevada and visited a few things there and come back through Utah. Unfortunately, didn't get to stay there very long because then we got to keep going. So we got to get over into Colorado, spend a couple of days going through some of the Colorado stuff, and then we came home. So it was a great furlough. So it was awesome.
So is it my turn now?
Yeah, you can talk.
Okay.
And go.
Yeah.
How much time do I have?
Okay, well, hurry up.
Yeah.
Until she's ready again.
Yeah. I mean, I love the ocean. You know, I love to swim and everything, but I'm more of a mountain guy. I like the mountains. So we went to there was a boondocking spot that we went to out on BLM in Colorado, and you know, we went up this gnarly road, and there was like mountains on all 3 sides of us, and we were up there for 3 days and didn't like see nobody up there. I mean, it was just us out there by ourselves. And that's the kind of stuff that I like. So, but yeah, definitely the mountains. I'm a mountain guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm a beach guy, but I grew up here in Florida, right on the east coast of Florida, first coast. So when I ended up in Alaska for the Coast Guard, when I woke up that first morning and all I saw around me was mountains, it was, you know, just about had to surgically reattach my jaw to my face. It was insane, the beauty up there. So, I mean, I didn't get to see a whole lot of the West Coast, just the Alaskan coast. Mm-hmm. But I can just imagine just getting to do that travel and actually being in control of where you stop. And you know what, let's go here today. What the heck? You know, that just, I love that aspect of
yeah.
Because I know some of your videos have been that, you know, it's like, you know, hey, there's a road over here. Let's just go this way. And you'll like end up detouring off to somewhere. And
yeah, because that's how we went to Tombstone. We were
one of my favorite videos, by the way.
We were in Quartzsite and we were leaving and we were caravanning back with a couple of friends of ours. And we were, I don't remember how far. I saw the sign and I'm like, oh, I forgot that's down here. And so I'm Googling it, you know, before I say anything, you know, mapping it to see. And it's like, hey, you want to go to Tombstone? You know, and he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see if Jerry wants to. And I call him and I'm like, hey, you want to go to Tombstone? You know, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, exit now. I mean, like, literally, it was pretty much that quick. If I'd have waited any longer, we would have missed the exit and we probably wouldn't have done it. And that, it was a really neat thing to visit, you know, but you know, that's kind of one of those things. If you're there, you really should do it. You know, you should go see it. I don't know. I'm not a huge Old West type fan.
Well, I'm not either, but the movie Tombstone.
Yeah, see, never even watched it. I've never even watched it all the way through. So
it's a really, really good movie. That's for sure. It's a lot better than than Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner, which isn't a bad movie.
I didn't watch that either.
And like I said, that was by far one of my. So many of your videos I love, but the whole interaction, everything that was going on in that was it was so much fun.
Yeah, that gunfight thing was pretty cool. So I was pretty glad I did it and, you know, let it be a longer video because I think it was worth it to do that. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of people that'll never get there that might appreciate the fact that we filmed the whole thing from beginning
Yes.
to end. So,
Well, we were sitting here, me and Chrissy were sitting on the couch watching it on the TV, just dying. They were loving it. It was
yeah,
so cool.
we had the slowest crowd.
I know. It's like, even the actors, you could tell they were like
waiting. You're supposed to boo or yay, or
it's like
we're like, oh, boo. Yeah.
We needed those signs that flash.
Yeah.
Applause, boo, or whatever.
Yeah, we were terrible.
Some of the cemetery stuff that you do also, like what was it, Boot Hill and
Yep. And that was right there, and that's right there in Tombstone. Just up, it's actually like where we exited. We actually drove past it coming in and didn't realize it was there. And we went up and did the whole, center town thing, and then we realized that it was. So we went back and stopped there on the way out because you got to go there if you're going to be in Tombstone.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would be the place that you have not been to yet that you absolutely want to get to?
Glacier. We really, well, actually we have two. Really want to go to Glacier, which is kind of another reason for building out the Hummer, because the going to the Sun Road is not going to accommodate us pulling our cargo trailer. And we probably wouldn't be camping in the park or right next to the park. We tend to boondock camp a lot, and I don't know. I don't want to get up there and then we're like, oh, we have no place to leave the trailer, or it doesn't seem like, kind of a trusting place to leave the trailer. So, but we can't take it. So we don't get to see that. We take the Hummer, we can go. We can go all the way up the road, all the way back down, and we can stop wherever we want to. So Glacier is one, and Utah for me is another, because I really want to see some of that southern Utah stuff. We, like I said, we didn't really get to stop. We boondocked overnight just because we needed to sleep, so that we could head on back home. But we haven't really done anything in Utah, so I'm looking forward to doing some Utah stuff, and that will be a Hummer thing too. That we won't be taking the cargo trailer for that either. So
that's cool. That's cool. And again, I can't wait to see that. All right, with Ed from Flash in Your Pan in here, he does a thing every year called a Flash Bash that he puts together, where they have a lot of detectorists and gold miners and everything come together. Is there anything with the travel, like we all have like once a year, like annual events where y'all all meet up and
there are so many RV meetups. There is no possible way we could go to them all. We did a few of them this year. We did starting in January. Quartzsite was a big one. That a lot of them gather at Quartzsite, usually in the month of January. And then there's Slow Momentum Meetup. That's the one that's in northern Louisiana, and his is towards the end of April. And then we went to Amana, Iowa for the Amana meetup. And there's a Mayberry one we didn't go to. That's over in Mount Airy, North Carolina. And it's a big one. Yeah, it drew a lot. It drew a lot last year, and last year was the first year for it. This year, I think it doubled or tripled in size. Yeah, it's a very popular one. We did a Branson meetup with several YouTubers. There's an Oregon one, which we haven't been to. Probably won't make it this year. Gosh, there's just so many. Yeah. I can't even think of all of them. There's a Michigan one. There's a Michigan meetup. So it's really a lot of people, a lot of the RV van life type community. It's just they'll kind of, hey, let's just start gathering together, and then it just turns into a thing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And like the one in Oregon is actually started by a van life our YouTuber. And then you've got like Mayberry, that's more of like the RV community. But then there was there's van lifers there, and because we all, even though we may be in something different, we all camp, whether part-time or full-time, so we all have something in common. So
Right.
to meet up and meet all these people, especially if you've been watching their channel, it's kind of cool to meet up with them and stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's another place I was going to go to, is how many places do you go where you're actually meeting, just whether intentionally or you pull up and it's like, oh hey, it's a channel you follow and all of a sudden you're meeting them for the first time, or you actually
I have
show up on somebody that you know. And
we've never just run a, well, kinda, I guess,
Well, you
sort
kinda
of.
chased them down one time.
Yeah, we were actually camping in Arkansas, and one of the channels that we follow is I Ride Tiny House Adventures, which has a cargo build and is one of like the very first channels he started watching, got us really watching. He's like, hey, come watch this, and I'm like, I don't care. But so, but we had been following him for a long time at that point, and we're down there, camping, and they had a video, and I'm sitting here on my phone watching it at the campsite, and they're like, well, we're at blah 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 campground. I'm like, that's across the lake. They were right across the lake from us. So I'm like, oh, I got really nervous because that was really the first time we met anybody from YouTube. So to me, I was meeting celebrities, and that's kind of how I felt. I was really nervous, and on the way over there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. And they're great people. Bill and Deb are awesome people, and it was like meeting old friends. It was like we'd known them forever, and now, I mean, we've camped with them a few times and since then, and we talk on the phone or text or whatever. And so I mean, we really made a good relationship there, just by pure really accident, because we had no clue they were across the lake. So that was our first one, and that was really cool. And who was the second? Was it Gina the second?
I think
And that was
so.
when we went to Oregon. And we made a point to stop and visit her because we knew she was out there. And she's a van lifer. Her channel's Van Life with Gina, but she has a step van, like the bread box step van. She has one of those, and she lives in it full time. And I'd been following her for a while, and so I'm like, well, we're gonna meet her. I want to meet her while we're out there, and because I didn't know if I'd ever get a chance again. So we stopped and met her, and she was completely awesome. So it really, just meeting those first two channels would really kind of lightened it for meeting the rest of them. Now, has everybody we met been our cup of tea? No, but that's the way the world works.
Yes.
Not everybody is. You're not going to mesh with everyone.
No,
You're just not going to. I don't care how nice or of a person you are. Somebody's not going to like you. So
Yes.
it's just that's just the way it goes. So and I know I'm not the easiest to get along with. But it's not because I don't want to like people. It's because I've been burnt a lot of times by people through the years. So I'm very standoffish, and I want to get a feel of you before I start telling you all my secrets.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Because there are people out there who just love to take stories and make bigger stories out of them.
Yeah, we've found a couple of those, but it's whatever. We just those, that's fine. They can go over there and do their thing, and we'll stay over here and do ours. And
that's right. And then
never name names, and just let it go.
Absolutely. And now look at you. I'm sure there's people out there with channels. They're like, oh my God, look. It's Felicity and Jesse. You got to play camping. Oh my God, look who we're getting to meet.
You know, we have never run across in our travels someone that just recognizes us out and about that has approached us. Now, if they recognize us and don't approach us, you know, we don't know.
Well, you know, they might not approach us after you.
Yeah, I just said how unfriendly I am. But
Check
no,
your server camera.
yeah, they're like, oh, we're not going.
Well, just
over
wait till
there.
Jesse's by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got such a friendly.
Oh, right.
face.
I know. Be like, well, I'm not going over there to talk to him. He don't talk. You know.
I think that's just because I talk too much. I ramble.
I'm not saying nothing.
You know, it's funny though. I get in a big crowd of people in person, and I don't hardly talk until I get to know everybody decently.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'll get with a big group of people, and I'll kind of stand there and I'll listen, and I get a feel for people, and sometimes I might not say a word, but if I do feel that opportunity and I feel like I'm comfortable enough to start talking, then you know I'm right into it.
Yeah, I'm technically an introvert, but so when I'm in a crowd of people like that, I tend to really get quiet. However, if that crowd of people is really quiet, then I become an extrovert, which is the weirdest thing ever, but it is a thing. So I'm technically an introvert extrovert. It's so strange. I'm such a complicated person.
Oh, I know.
He was quick on the response to that one.
Yeah, I know. Not surprised.
So, whose idea was it to start magnet fishing?
Mine.
I think our whole channel was your idea.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, how'd that get going? What made you think to decide to start the channel?
Seriously,
Yeah.
we were going to build this cargo trailer, and he's like, you should video this and we could start a YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't want a YouTube channel. I don't want to do that, you know? And he's like, no, I should, you know? And I'm like, I'm not videoing. I'll take pictures and, you know, and then I'll decide if I want to do anything with it. So our very first video is of the cargo build, but it's all pictures. It's really crappy, but you know, so it's a slideshow video of pictures of the build because I didn't want a video. And actually our first, 3 or so videos, I barely speak. He didn't talk at all for a while. It was just me. I was so nervous to talk. It's like that big crowd thing. I got that feeling. I wanted to pipe down and go in my little shell and not talk, you know.
Right.
Well, I just kind of thought it'd be an interesting idea because, you know, not everybody has the 50, 60 grand to go spend on a RV. If you do, that's great. That's your thing. But I'm kind of more of a tightwad, so I won't do that. And anyways, I thought, you know, this would be a way to show people that with, you know, a little bit of money, you could still go out and do the things that all the big RV people can do also, you know. So that was kind of also part of the idea for the channel. But, you know, because
to show you don't have to go buy an RV to be able to camp.
Right. And
if you don't want to, you know, camp in a tent.
Right.
Well, and what you're doing is a little more close to camping than what, you know, they are doing when they're when they're driving these big RVs also.
Yeah, we don't really glamp, we camp. So
right.
Yeah.
However,
we don't
I don't have anything against those big RVs because
no, we don't. Yeah, I mean,
are,
one of my very best friends has a huge, very nice, I call it the party Class A. Because, you know, it's got the mirrors on the ceilings and the lights and the, you know, it's fancy. It's nice. But, you know, and he loves it. That's great. You know, when we're over there visiting, I am more than happy to sit in those comfy chairs. So, you know, it all works out.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just not for me. I've seen, even though he's getting to where he can really, he breaks that thing down and pulls out fast, which is pretty interesting, because I know a lot of people, when they're breaking down at camp, a couple of hours packing things away and unhooking stuff. And no, he's usually done within about 30-40 minutes or something, maybe.
I can do it in about 10.
Yeah, we're a lot quicker, but
that seems like the sweet thing about having that is, and building it, because you can create it so that you know where you're putting things, and you can build it out for loading everything back in and get moving pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing too. Absolutely. So I want to go to one of my favorite parts of what y'all do, because it kills me every time, because I wish I was there while you were doing it. Let's talk about some of your cooking. Oh man, I watched some of your cooking videos, and I'm like, where are you at, so I can get there? Of course, it's when you guys make it down here.
I gotta cook.
Well, I don't know. That may be a deal buster there.
Actually,
I'll help
with the cast iron stuff. He pretty much does all the actual cooking. I just do the prep work and then eat it. But yeah, we just got started on the cast iron stuff. I don't know. It hasn't been too long ago. It's fairly recent, and we really like it. I'm not a huge fan of the cleanup, but it's kind of like the Instant Pot thing. Everybody told me how easy it was to clean, and to me, it's still a pain. So I guess I'm just really that lazy. I don't know. Because to me, I'm like, man, I just want to be able to wipe it out and I'm done. And it doesn't always work out that way. So, but the food we've cooked in it so far has all been pretty good. We haven't had any major disasters.
No.
I got a video. We still got a video sitting in queue waiting to come out of a last campground we went to with the cargo trailer, and we did some cookies, and that wasn't probably the best thing, but they still tasted good. So
I ate them.
Yeah, they were good. So they just didn't look too pretty. But we always try to do pretty simple food when we're camping and stuff, and so a lot of canned stuff gets used. I really try a lot to not do a lot of refrigerated type foods. Now of course, that, like, we've done some soup and stuff that required some cream, but we had the ice chest and it was in there, and then we ended up in a electric hookup place. So it was fine. We're able to hook up the refrigerator and stuff, but I prefer to try to do it without using anything that needs electricity. It's just the way I want to do it. And we've kind of gotten pretty good at that for the most part, which is good, because when we go in the Hummer, we're not going to have a refrigerator. So everything's going to have to be, which, I mean, these days it's great, because you can go get these little packs of rice that are already cooked. You just got to heat that stuff up. That's easy to do. You can even get it with pasta. It's already made. It's already cooked. You just got to open the bag and, warm it up, So it's really pretty easy to have food that you don't have to refrigerate.
That's cool. How much room do you have for coolers and stuff in your trailer? And what kind of room are you going to have for that kind of stuff in the Hummer? Or in the Hummer, is it just going to be a stop somewhere and eat type of thing?
No, we'll have a cooler, but pretty much all the food's going to be canned or some type of, preserved bag type food, stuff like that. We actually went and bought a little ice cooler thing that we've tested out, and we haven't done a video on it yet, but it's working pretty good. So that'll house anything. And what we figured we would do is, if we're like, man, really go for some hamburgers tonight. Well, we're going to be near stores wherever we go, so if we
Or
think
on the way out.
or
to wherever
yeah,
we're
or
going.
something. Yeah, you know, we know we want to stop. We'll just stop and grab some burger, throw it in the ice chest. It'll be fine for a couple hours, and then we can, you know, cook it up and eat it.
But in the trailer though, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room. We
Oh,
could throw
yeah.
a cooler down on the floor,
Which we have.
which we
we
have.
did.
But you know,
Well, this is a good question from Dawn because I've heard the commercials for this a lot. The Patriot Foods. Have you heard of them?
yes, I have.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's you know, it's what, a box, and it's like 3 months worth of food
Yep.
in one box, and it'll last for like 25 years.
Yep.
And
It's like what do they call them people?
Preppers.
Preppers. Yeah.
Preppers, yes,
Prepper
yes.
stuff. Yes. Okay.
That's how I know. About
Yeah,
it.
he's more interested in the prepper stuff than I am. You know, I mean, he's got some what are them MRE things. You know, he's got some of that stuff, and he's always wanting to have a bug out whatever, and I'm like, whatever. You know, that's not really my thing. So, you know.
Well, it's a good thing he's preparing for it.
That's it. You know,
Right.
I figure if he's prepared, I don't need to be. He'd just be like, get in the vehicle, we're going.
So I'm gonna have to kill food for two.
Yeah. I can hunt. I don't like it, but I can do it.
I've always liked that stuff though. I've always been kind of outdoorsy, survivalist. That's really always interested me. So that's kind of ties right in with all that. So
Yeah, that's how I grew up. I grew up going hunting with my grandparents, living the lake life, running around the woods barefoot, which looking back now was not always a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, down here in the Florida area, you've got just about all the poisonous snakes you can handle down here. And we're running around the woods barefoot, playing tag, dropping down on the ground, covering ourselves with leaves to hide from each other. And yeah, I don't know how I made it through that without ever getting snake bit, but
that's he mentioned snakes. Are we still going back to Florida one day?
nope. No, I watch those things where they're getting all them pythons out of the Everglades and all.
That's further south than I am, up North Florida. That's way down there. You don't got to go down. You don't even want to go down there.
Yeah, we was in Pensacola. We really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
So-
it was pretty there.
The only good thing about South Florida is the Keys.
I've heard enough about them. I had a friend that they go every year, and I always heard about the Keys and saw pictures of the Keys, and so I don't know if I'll ever go there, but you know,
It's some of the most beautiful water I think you'll see in the United States, anyways. So, I had another question and I just lost it because you got laughing about the snakes and everything. It just went.
there are snakes in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, there are snakes in Jacksonville. That's for sure. Oh, okay. Let me jump over here and give somebody a wrench real fast. Thank you for staying on top of that. Let me find them. Gonna let my chat catch up to me over here on the other stream. So how well does Darby take all the traveling? And I suppose Darby goes with you on all your travels, or
Oh yeah, she goes on all of them. Speak of the little devil, here she is. Come here. Everybody probably wants to see you. Get up here. Yeah. Oh. Turn around. Let them see your face, not your butt. Turn around. Oh. She's not very cooperative. She does okay. I don't think she really enjoys it necessarily, but she enjoys going with us. It doesn't matter where we go. If we're headed to the front door, she wants to go. And she gets all excited. But 10 minutes into the trip, she's literally like a child in the back seat of the truck, laying down, huffing and puffing. I mean, she like snorts and huffs. She'll sit up and put her head on the back seat, looking out the back window like, oh, I'm so sad. You know, I mean, it's crazy. And then she's gotten better at this, but when we first started, she wouldn't eat for like the first day and a half or so, she would not eat, but she's gotten better. She's better when we go to like campsites where we pretty much are just staying kind of in the camper, in and out, at the campsite. If we're with other people where we're not actually coming in and out of the camper as much or spending as much time in the camper with her, she tends to slack on the eating. So I don't know if it's a separation anxiety type thing or what, but she, that it bothers me, and I'm a little concerned with the overlanding thing, how she's going to take to that, because there's not really a way. We were not going to have a floor to set her bowls on. They're going to have to sit out on the ground for her to eat, and I'm a little concerned about that. But that's something we're going to test next weekend, and kind of see how it goes, and hopefully it works out okay, right?
Because part of the family. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's their children, their family members. I got my Oreo every Friday night when I do this. She gets up
Right
here
there.
and sits next to me. Whenever I'm up here editing my videos, she jumps up here and sits right here next to me and falls asleep.
There you go.
There
she is.
There. She's like, what? What's going on here? What's this about?
You're on TV.
Everybody came to see you, Darby.
Yeah, pretty much. We say she's the star of the channel. Everybody loves Darby.
So, how many other?
She doesn't love everybody. So, okay.
How many other campers that y'all run into have? And I'm sure probably quite a few of them do have their pets along with them.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got probably our best friends, RV campers. They have a kitty cat. Usually, I think the ones we've met have cats.
Yeah, for the most part.
Now Aaron Jemison, he's got 3 dogs, little like wiener dogs or something like that.
Keenar has a little like.
Oh
chihuahua.
yeah, they've got a little Chihuahua dog. Most of them are small dogs.
Yeah,
they're little dogs. Have we met anybody that's had a big dog? New Horizons has a Basset and a Pomeranian,
something like that.
and I can't think of anybody else that has. That Land Cloud guy's got them Samoyeds, or however you say that. He's got a couple of those. Those are fairly good size, medium-sized dogs. I don't think any of them are as big as Darby, though.
Yeah.
She's like I said, she's getting better with the camping thing, but she's not real good at meetups. We pretty much have to isolate her.
Okay.
She's not real good around people. She's learned to like, our friends that we're going to go see next weekend. She's learned to like them. In fact, basically we call him Uncle Jerry for her, but so she gets the little butt wiggle going on when she sees Jerry, because she knows him now. She's seen him enough,
Right,
so
right.
that's okay. But she about took the hand off of one person at a meetup actually twice, because she did it in Quartzsite and then she did it again so twice she's done that. And I can't figure it out. Both of them were guys. And I don't know if it's because they were coming towards, and I'm over here, she's in the middle, and
Yes.
she doesn't like it. Very possible. I don't know.
It's the protective, yeah.
Yeah, she gets a little, and I watch her because she'll get a little funny. Her ears will kind of do a certain thing, and her body language I can see is, different, and then I kind of pull her away, because I'm like, no, I don't want somebody to get hurt,
Right.
just because she's touchy, but, and I know she is. I'm not going to be one of them dog owners that says, oh, my dog's so sweet. No, well, she is with me, but she's not with everybody.
Right.
And she despises other animals. So, and I tried when she was little to socialize her, with other dogs and stuff, and it didn't do very good. So, we just kind of gave up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, as a person, you should also know, and especially as an adult, you should know you don't just walk up to a dog you don't know and just go at them.
You'd be
You
surprised how many people will do that, though.
I know, it's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, I would never do that because, I mean, that's their space and that's their human behind them. You can't.
They got to see that you're comfortable with the person, and then that will eventually build their comfort with you, and then they can come to you, and you got to let the dog decide. And if you try to force it, there will always be that hesitancy from them. So it's like me. I go into a lot of yards with people who have dogs, or the next door neighbor will have a dog, and I'm in the backyard doing my thing, and the dog's over there, rah, 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 rah. So what I learned, and it works almost every time, is, do you got a ball? Where's your ball? Go get your ball. Go get your ball. And these dogs that are, foaming at the mouth to get to me, all of a sudden it's like their whole demeanor changes, and they're running around. They'll come over and they'll drop a ball next to the fence, and if I can get it, I'll grab it and throw it for them, and then I can do my job now, and they're not acting like they want to jump over the fence to come and get me, because that would suck.
Yeah.
And somebody, I don't know, said something about a leash with first meets. Darby's on a leash always. She does not run free. And I know there's a lot of, and this might make some people angry, but there's a lot of channels that we've watched where they'll camp and they'll just let their dog freely run wherever they're at. No. First of all, I don't want somebody else to possibly get hurt because my dog thinks they're invading her space. Second of all, I don't want my dog to get hurt.
Yeah.
You don't know what's out in those weeds. Don't let your dogs run around. That's just not right. You got to protect your dog, as much as your dog tends to protect you. They don't know. They're just running and having fun, and it drives me crazy. That is probably one of my biggest pet peeves, and I won't ever comment something bad on somebody's video, but you don't know how many times I always want to go down and comment and say, put your dog on a leash.
Well, it's a liability also.
Yeah, it is. It is. So,
well, their dog might be nice, but if it runs up on our dog,
right,
that's not going to end well.
Yeah, that's another thing, oh, my dog loves other dogs. Well, mine doesn't. And when she starts showing her teeth and growling, that's going to make your dog unfriendly.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. They're dogs.
Yes, it is.
So, even the littlest dog.
Well, when people run up on you, you show your teeth.
That's right.
And I'm not going to ask about a leash there.
Oh.
No, we don't want to go down that road.
No choke.
Remember those secrets? No, I'm just
no choke collars. So that just opened another. No, just.
Oh wait, somebody wants to know what is the coolest thing either of you guys have caught magnet fishing.
I was just getting ready to go there. I was going to bring it back to magnet fishing. Changing
the subject.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think was the coolest? We've caught several interesting things.
I don't know. I still think that satellite with the pole still attached was,
and the cable.
And the cable.
The cable was wrapped around the pole.
Things,
which we went back to that place again, and we've actually been there a few times to that same place, and we think it was somebody's dumping ground because we pulled up quite a bit of stuff from there. And we ended up pulling up the grounding rod that we think probably went to that. And that was like several months later that we went back and found what is that?
The cash register.
The cash register was a good one.
That'd have been a lot better if it had money in it.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. It did still have the printer ribbon in it. I thought that was pretty interesting. That one was some work because you actually caught that on your
my littler
700 okay,
cheapy one.
Yeah, and we couldn't get it to pull up. We couldn't get hooked onto it and stuff. We didn't have the right stuff for it.
And that's when you finally had the 3600 is when you
that would be the one that broke the back there. That was the one that was like, okay, we got to get a bigger magnet because, you know, obviously we're still going to do this, and we run across something like that, you know, I don't want to, you know, not be able to pull it up, which, I mean, obviously we finally did, but it was so full of mud and water and gunk that even that big magnet, it couldn't quite get a real good grip on it. And was it the claw I got?
Yeah.
And put the claw in it or something and helped pull that one up. So that was a good one.
There's a lot of times with some of the heavier things that it's been down in the water for so long, there's that layer of rust and grime that even those strong magnets, you'll feel them click to it. But as you try to pull, because of that layer, just the bite isn't there, and it starts to slide off, and so it's just
it's a struggle.
And that's usually when I pull up big hunks of rust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know I'm on something, but I'm just pulling it apart.
So. We had the one incident where we kept pulling up these weird little springs, just these little tiny springs. And we're like, what on earth are those? You know, and then finally we're kind of like, is that part of a bed or something? And we were actually live. We were doing a live, and he finally caught a hold of it, but it wasn't actually magnetized to it, no, was it? It just got tangled onto this, and he's pulling it up, and we're like, oh my gosh, it was a rollaway bed frame.
Oh,
the whole frame. It still had the wheels on it. So he was pulling up bits and pieces of that, all the little springs and stuff. It was folded up just like, you know, like a taco, like a rollaway bed. And that was tricky.
And that was off one of the docks?
Yeah. Wow. Yep. And then what was that? A little fuel tank, like for a tractor or something. Pulled that up. Yep. So I mean, that was probably all of our coolest stuff. We haven't found a lot of real cool stuff lately, but we haven't been going much. We've been camping and building and this and that. So
we did go this weekend.
Last weekend. I do have a video to put out, but I mean, it's not like cash register exciting or anything like that. But we did finally get out and magnet fish some, and we did get some stuff. So,
how often are you out there? And because I do remember the one video where you had some friends out there magnet fishing with you, had never seen it or done it before. How often when y'all are out there doing that, or you know, other campers are like looking at you guys like, what is that?
I don't know if it's so much, you know, even campers, but I mean, we've had lots of people especially on the docks, they'll walk up, what are you doing? What is that? Or some of them will actually go, man, is that a big old magnet?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And I'm like, well, you know, people drop stuff. I pick it up, you know, so, but they're like, well, how strong? Then you get all the questions on how strong it is, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of the RV camper people hooked into magnet fishing. Mm-hmm. They've started doing it. So
well, good. That's cool. One, it's a fun hobby, and two, it's good because now you got more people out there cleaning up the water and getting that garbage out of there.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I couldn't believe how much stuff is in the water.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy,
and it's crazy when you go back to the same spots. And it's constant.
Yep.
Every time. Yeah. But it's a good thing.
It's been a while since we've been to that spot again. So might have to hit that one again in case it's a recurring. I like when Jesse catches the dock. Yeah, that kills me because it is never, I promise you, never done on purpose. No. It is, and I laugh every time because it's so funny that he does that almost every freaking time. He's more concentrated on what's on the magnet or what he's doing or pulling off, and then clink, and it hooks to the side of the dock is pretty funny to me. But.
Well, Team Sneak Attack, Heather will do a count, especially with Ashley, because Ashley, she will get her magnet stuck on on something metal in the dock almost every time she's out there. And Heather will do a count, like stuck to the dock once, twice, 3 times.
That's funny.
And you're definitely not doing it on purpose. And a lot of times you're not paying attention to where the magnet goes, or sometimes all you got to do is get the magnet close enough, just close enough, and the magnet will do all the work on its own.
Yeah, there's a lot of metal on those docks.
And and honestly, I'm more concerned to make sure I don't have my hand between the metal and the magnet. So, because
there's been some injuries that way. That's for sure. You guys ever thought about doing any metal detecting out there at those camps? Because that would be
that's something we've kind of talked about, because we've watched a few metal detecting channels, and we're not always where there's bodies of water. So, that's what we're kind of like, that would be kind of cool, because we could still kind of, search stuff.
It's still treasure hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what
you're doing, I just think a lot of those campsites, you got to think, people have been going to these places for years. And, what have they lost? Have you ever see people out at the campsite sites that you're at doing that, or?
I don't
think I've ever seen them doing that.
No, see that.
There you go. Now you're seeing where I was going with that question.
I guess I'll be getting on Amazon after this.
We'd have to research metal detectors a little more, because I don't really know a whole lot about them, other than, watching people actually, finding stuff with them. I don't really know. I don't know. We got our son one once several years ago, I guess now. And he used it for a little while, and then I don't even know what happened to it. But, I didn't really know how to work it. So I was like, well, you're on your own. So
there you go. So anybody, and y'all are putting questions up here. So anybody else got any questions for him? Oh. Hey, we got Magnet Junkie. What's going on, Nick? There's a channel that's fun to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was probably one of the first magnet fishing channels we started watching.
Yep.
I would say.
Yeah, I would probably say is just about as long as I started watching and doing channels myself, I came across him, and I've been subscribed to him for quite a while.
I actually found you, I believe, by going to, because I didn't know if Jody Mosby had videos, and he was watching our stuff, or I seen him comment somewhere, something. And I went over to his channel, and then I looked to see what channels he was subscribed to. And I started going down through them, and I saw yours, and of course your logo stood out. And I'm like, I'll go over here. And that's how I started watching your channel, was from finding your logo on somebody else's channel because they were subscribed to you. So it always pays to look and see.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll say a lot of the things about watching, the channels, the name and the logo does, it's what attracts the eye. And, and I'm sure there's a lot of good channels out there, unfortunately, that are probably overlooked because of that. Hey, we got Tanner, Michigan Magnet Man. How you doing, brother, man? Let's see. Yeah, Anita's saying Tidewater, then me. And that's the neat thing about it, is you go through these channels and you'll find other really cool channels through them. And that's what I did with you guys. I mean, finding you guys and then going in through watching who is coming to you, and it's, to watch a video, and then it would suggest another camping video and another camping video and whatnot. And then
Yeah,
definitely
see, a lot of what I do, if somebody comes over, comments on one of our videos, I pretty much always will go look at their channel and, see. There's a lot of them that don't have any, content, but then the ones that do, I at least try to watch a video and return the favor, and a lot of times it just happens to be some, a channel that will actually, interest me and I'll stay. But also, I'll look at who comments a lot of times on somebody else's, on that channel's videos. If I'm like, well, I kind of like this, let's see who's commenting. Hey, there's a channel. Let's see what they're about. And that's how I find a lot of people, because, I just go down through the comments and just click and check out their channel. Nothing says you have to stay there if you don't like it, just move
Absolutely.
on. But
that's the same. And there's a lot of the channels that I follow have come exactly that exact same way. And then you watch one of their videos and you're looking at their comments, and then you'll click on them, and it can be a rabbit hole.
Yep. Yeah, it can be. It can be.
What is 4 o'clock in the morning? Oh my God.
Daniel Bowens was actually, I think, the very first magnet fisher we watched. I think, yeah.
Yeah, they because I didn't even know what.
That we
what
hadn't
magnet
heard
fishing
of it.
was, and I was just scrolling through, and I'm like, magnet fishing. So I hit on it, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty neat. Then I started looking at more channels, and of course, then I look at her and go, I want a magnet.
Yeah, which, I'm over here while he's watching that, doing my own thing, and I'm like, oh, what is it? And then I start watching, I'm like, okay, this could be kind of cool. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
So we ended up getting cheapo magnets from Amazon. Because, we're kind of like, let's just try something cheap and see if we even like it before we,
and I wanted to get a feel, because, when you're dragging the bottom, so you kind of you can feel what you're hitting or what you're dragging across.
Yes.
You get to where, oh, that's a log, that's fishing line, whatever. And I wanted to get that before I went and spend any kind of money because, like I said, I'm a tightwad. So, I didn't want to lose nothing big. So
that's the same thing I did. I got a little magnet off of Amazon. I think it was a 1,300 pound pool, double sided. So 1,300 total. So, 650 on each side was my first magnet, and I still have it. It's still in the box out there. It kind of stays in the box. It doesn't get used much, but if, I've got it. If somebody comes fishing or the kids are fishing, it's a great magnet to throw on for one of the kids.
Yep, that's why we keep them and take ours with us.
Yep.
So in case we have a friend that's like, oh, we should try that. Okay, here, we got a magnet.
Yeah, because if they lose it, I'm not going to cry.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've already cried over one magnet.
Right. That's so sad.
I had a close experience.
Yeah.
When we was in Mississippi, and I got it hung up, and I didn't think I was going to get it out. And
yeah.
Luckily, it just somehow busted loose, and I got it, but I was sweating.
Yeah. Chrissy still doesn't let me live down the loss of that dockbuster.
Yeah.
Still doesn't. So she's not listening right now. Thankfully.
What is the best beginner magnet to get? I don't know.
Well,
what was your first one was 500.
Yeah, my first one was a single side 500 pool, and it was tiny.
Yeah, and then we graduated to a 750.
Yep.
And then we went all the way up to that.
Yeah, the 3600.
I of course would tell you to go check out Kratos Magnetics, which of course you see scrolling across the bottom down here. Start off with you don't want to start off with a weak magnet, but start off, something around 1,400 pounds pull force, something like that, because even though that sounds like a heavy pull magnet, you're not really going to pull up anything 1,400 pounds. But what it does, it just means it has a good pull force. I call it a bite. It has a good bite when it gets on something, and it will, because you'll miss a bunch of stuff with the smaller magnets, and it actually will discourage you pretty quickly if you're throwing that magnet out there and it's not grabbing hold of anything because it just doesn't have the pull force. And of course, now I'm using the Kratos Orion 2400 clamp, which the teeth on that thing, I'm telling you, are sharp. That thing bites into some stuff. All right, real fast. It's 11:30 just now. So what do you say we do my members only race real fast? You guys stay up here because I want you on here while I do it.
Okay.
So again, the members only race. The way it's going to be for the members only race is you don't have to be here to win because you're paying for the membership. Tonight's members race again is for the Squatch hoodie, which I mean it's a real nice. I don't know if it says in here who it is made by. Lane 7. Never heard of that before, but it is a really nice sweatshirt hoodie. Very, very comfortable. So that's what the prize is going to be for the members tonight. So I've already got it set up. I've already got all the everybody who is a member of the race is already in on here. So let's see, and we're going to do a 2-minute race. So let me get over here into StreamYard and let me share this screen real fast. All right, we're going to do super full screen. There we go. All right, so everybody who's in here, I'm going to read off everybody who is in here real fast. Let me get to where I can do that if my computer is going to work for me. Oh, sure. Now we're going to do this. Sorry, guys. All of a sudden, my computer decides it doesn't want to move smoothly for me. All right. I've got 9 members, and let's see. We've got Jax C and Z. We've got Sally. I'm not sure how to say the last name. Cuenca. We got Starry's Lost and Found, Janine's Finds, Alley Cat Treasures, Nathan Perez, Hillbilly Magnet Fisher, Dawn the Metal Detective, and AU Guys Prospecting. Those are the guys, the members who are in the race. So I'm going to shuffle the characters 3 times and get this started right now. So we're doing the Christmas elf race. So what I'm going to do is I'm planning on doing this, the members only race. I'm going to do it the first Friday of every month for all my members. Didn't do it last Friday because we were at the concert in St. Augustine. So this is going to count as the first Friday. Oh, we got Hillbilly up front. Jax looked like he was trying to get in there. Sally creeping up. Hey, you guys in there. Starry's up there. Hey, thanks, Digologist. Appreciate you being here. Dawn creeping up on the top up there. She's taking a lead. It's going to be back and forth for a little while. It's not going to tighten up here until about the last 10 seconds of the race. That's when it's going to get real interesting. No, this is I'm streaming it, Grandmas. I'm streaming it through StreamYard, but this is a separate site. It's called Online Stopwatch. They have a lot of free stuff that you can do, but it's a very light annual membership, and you're open to everything. And they've got some really cool stuff.
Run, Forrest, run. That's funny.
I wish they had a Squatch race. They don't.
That would be cool.
They're leaving everybody in the dust. Here they come. They're all catching up. Who's it going to be? Coming in at the end. Oh, Sally. Oh, let me get in here and we'll show the so Sally was first, Stars was second, and you guys was third. All right, I'm gonna have to get with Sally and let her know that she was the winner. That was pretty cool for the first race.
That was cool.
We'll get that removed. All right, way to go, Sally.
You should email that company that does the little race things and tell them they need to do a Sasquatch one.
Yes.
They might really do it. I mean, Bigfoot's pretty popular. People like that stuff.
I every day I see at least 10 or so Squatch of some sort sticker on somebody's car. So today is 12/10/21. All right. That way I can make sure to get in touch with Sally. There we go. So I'm going to do that the first Friday of every month. And each month I'm going to pick a different prize and what it'll be from my store. I've got some pretty cool items in there. And then, of course, also the 1,500 subscriber will be coming up. And when I get there, that's going to be the, Squatch merchandise. It'll be either be the sweatshirt, a shirt. I'm looking on getting some hats because I want to do hats also. And, of course, you see I'm wearing the but that's what I want to do for 15. But I really appreciate everybody who is a member. And I know as you do, too, for your members, it does help. Because what it does for me is it helps me to be able to do the giveaways and to just give back to the community who is helping me so much to get where I am. Because like you guys, I didn't do the YouTube channel. It wasn't what I wanted to do until I was doing a YouTube channel.
Right.
And now I love it. The community of people I've gotten to meet is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm burnt out, I need a break, or I really like it. But I don't have a job, that I go to a 9 to 5 or whatever bricks job. I stay home. I'm the little housewife or whatever. So, I mean, YouTube kind of is my job, and, I don't really get burnt out from it. I do. There's certain aspects sometimes of it that I'm kind of like, okay, I just can't watch YouTube today. I gotta pull up a movie or something. I gotta get away from YouTube for today, or whatever. And, but the actual running of the channel, I love doing the videoing part. I don't mind doing the editing and all that. Really, probably what I hate the most is coming up with titles and what words to put on a thumbnail. Right. I hate that. But all the rest of it, and every once in a while I don't mind, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I got this great title, but something like, what is it? What was that? We stopped using kitty litter in our potty. Well, that must have been a good title, because that was our best video. So.
Well, you know what? That's what? Okay, I got to see what they're talking about.
Yep, it's crazy. I haven't looked at it recently. Once it finally hit over 100,000 views, I was kind of like, okay. And yeah. I think YouTube kind of squashed it a little. So the views we were getting on it just like plummeted. So I don't know what happened there, because that's kind of odd that it would be running pretty good for a really long time and, and pretty consistent views. And then all of a sudden, and but
I think sometimes YouTube does that. I absolutely.
Yeah.
I've spoken with some other people who've had the same thing. Grandma Kelly's, to set up your channel for members, I guess you got to have over 1,000 subs. And once you do, then it gives you a prompt on your oh, doggone it.
In your studio.
In your studio, there we go. And you just set it up through your studio, and it gives you a bunch of options for what to do, and just follow the options.
You have to be monetized to have. So you've got to have the 1,000 subscribers of 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, once you're monetized.
And be monetized. If I remember right, when you get monetized, it's like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the membership thing actually pops up that you can do it.
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of a delay in that one.
Yep. But it was pretty cool. I sat there and looked at it for a while, and you actually were the first one that I reached out to about it, to see how it was working. Because I was thinking about it for a while when it popped up, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And I just kept pushing it aside, and then finally I was like, you know what, this might actually be a good way to help with doing the giveaways and everything. And
yeah, so I wasn't going to do it either, but then there's certain people that they just want to support you.
Yes.
No matter what, and it's not even like about giveaways or whatever. They just really like you so much they want to support you. So
which I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so I mean, it's like, okay, that's great. So we set it up, and I don't know, the first one we got, we were like, oh, we got a member. I can't remember who was our first one. I don't know, but we were so excited because we couldn't believe we actually got one, and we don't have a bunch. I think 13 is what we have, but I mean, that's awesome. Those are 13 really awesome people that think obviously that we're awesome enough to give us money every month. So, and what we use ours goes back into what we do, which in turn is where we get content from in order to create the channel, have the channel. Yes. So like, a lot of the funds that came in this year went towards a Blue Eddy. Because if you haven't checked, those aren't cheap. So, that kind of stuff, so it was, and we don't frivolously spend it, or anything like that. I don't go out and buy the latest camera equipment. I still use my Galaxy S9 phone for all our videos. I have the fanciest thing I think I have for equipment is my Osmo mobile thing, and that's just because a lot of the stuff like the hiking or things like that, you're going to get vibration when you're walking, and that's kind of dizzying, and I don't particularly like to watch it, so I wouldn't expect somebody else to watch it. So right. That really helps with that kind of stuff. So that was more of I feel like a necessity type equipment, but I'm not going to go out and buy a $4,000 camera to video going camping. I just don't see that that's
Tanner,
I just don't see that it's necessary.
We're not making movies.
Yeah, and I don't feel like for us even, and I'm not down on anybody that does. They can go buy whatever they want. But I don't even think for us a GoPro really makes sense, because we've talked about it. Now, if we did it like you do, and how you attach your GoPro to you for all that. The only thing we've done that I think a GoPro would have been pretty cool for is that zip lining. Yeah. That would have been kind of cool. But we don't do that all the time. So, I'm not going to go buy $300-400 little camera for one zip line. So, and when we magnet fish, I don't magnet fish. So I just do the camera. And right. So, he doesn't need a GoPro for that. But
yes, Grandma, that's when the ad revenue starts also. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love my GoPro. Of course, I was an idiot and didn't make sure I had it packed in my car a few weeks ago and lost it. However, I did get my new one this week. So, and I went ahead and only because Amazon was doing the monthly payment thing with no interest. So it was like, Absolutely.
Yeah.
So heck yeah. I went ahead and got the 10.
And I own it. Woo!
Yes.
Yeah, well, that is the Ann Mudd says the GoPro would be good on kayaks. Yes, we actually talked about that too. You're right, because a couple of friends of ours that we went to see in Tennessee, and she has a GoPro that she uses when they're kayaking, and so that that would be something that could possibly benefit us to have a GoPro.
Yeah. Well, Michigan Magnet Man, he does his videos with his phone. I do believe he still does it with his phone. I know he has his drone that he throws up in the air also for some of the openings of his videos, but and his videos are great just using his phone. I tried doing that at first. That's my first few videos, but the phone that I had at the time, it didn't have a whole lot of space on it, and
Yeah.
I couldn't record very much. And so I was like, you know what, I got to do it. I just got to drop for it. And that's when I got my first GoPro, but just simply because my phone wasn't working well enough to do the recording and stuff. However, the phone I have now, I got the Galaxy S20 Note, and that thing, I mean, the video that just dropped today was all recorded on this.
Yeah, see, those newer ones have really good camera quality
Yes,
too.
yes.
So yeah, I may upgrade, but I hate upgrading a phone when I like the phone that I have, because I'm always afraid I'm going to upgrade and not like the new phone as much as I liked the old one. So
I
I've
love
been
this
dragging feet doing that.
Well,
but,
I'm kind of thankful you're like that.
well, yeah, he appreciates that I don't do it because he's tightwad. But
Well, that way you keep me and don't trade me in on.
oh yeah, yeah. I don't want to start over. All that training and
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. Then there's all the secrets and everything too. So.
Yeah, right.
The teeth showing and stuff.
Oh man. No, I don't down
Hey,
anybody
JD.
for what they get for their, the equipment they get for their channel. I just prefer not to. And I don't want to sink every penny that, every amazing person that watches our channel, is helping us to get, either by watching our ads or memberships or whatever, super chats or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't want to do that. I would rather use it for a tank of gas and go camping and make them a really nice video of what we're doing rather than what I bought. So
Yes.
that's just kind of how I feel about it, And we haven't done any giveaways since our monetization. We probably need to, we need to, somehow do that. It's hard to do it anymore, because used to be you could do comment on this video, and well, then you get troll stuff and things, and I don't know, so it's hard. And then if you try to do it during a live stream, that's great, but if you want them to be present in order to do it, not everybody can make your live stream, and
Well, and that's where you have the big giveaways, like when I finally do get to 1,500, that's that's going to be one that I'm going to announce, and it's going to be one that it's going to give everybody a chance to be there. And for that one, it's not going to be you have to be here to win. It's if you're watching and you're taking the time to watch the videos and go in and comment, that's good enough for me. But then in the live stream giveaways, that's a different thing. If I do a live stream, hey, we're going to give away a shirt. If I want to do that, it's kind of, you need to be here. That's the whole point in doing the giveaways on the live stream. So, it's the two different giveaways and the two different aspects of doing it. But it does help because one, I like it because it gives me a chance to show you guys I appreciate the support, and it's the appreciation back to everybody who's taken the time to watch your videos, and of course going and watching everybody else's videos is a big one also. So getting a chance to do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's some new scam going around YouTube, which I haven't actually seen it yet, but I know one of the channels that had it happen to them, that some a troll or whatever is going down through and replying to everybody's comments on videos saying, hey, you won this, contact me here, but they're making a fake profile or fake channel that is that channel.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're telling all their subscribers, hey, you won, contact me here. And it's some kind of a scam thing. And I don't know if it's like as soon as you click it, does something happen, or I don't know. But yeah, it's hard to, I don't want to do something and then everybody think that it's some kind of a scam. And
Well, and that's where doing the video, announcing it and seeing it come from you, and then making sure that it's attached to a video that you're doing, and I definitely get it, because there was another live I was on and they were talking about that. I've never actually seen it.
Yeah,
but
I
was
haven't
watching
either.
a live where they were talking about that very similar thing, and it's just having that communication with everybody is a biggie, and making sure that how I will get in touch with you and everything is very, very key and important in that as well. But I think giveaways are important because it shows your subscribers and the people who are following you that I'm not just in it for me. I'm
Right.
here for the appreciation of you guys, and because again, I wouldn't keep pushing like I do to put the videos out there if I didn't have the followers who. Because when I'm filming now, I'm filming with this group over here in mind when I'm filming now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my aspect, the way I look at it, my feelings on it.
Well, sometimes when we're filming or whatever, we'll do something and we're like, hey, remember that comment? This so-and-so person is really going to like this. So let's do it this way. That kind of falls along the line, because that's where the comments come in really, helpful, because they want to see more of this, or they want to see Darby more, or, whatever. We'll make a special cameo with Darby just for this person that commented about it. So
yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. We'll do all that within reason.
Well,
because we've had some people that are just nitpicky, and those are the people that's like, well, maybe you should probably start your own channel, because I'm not gonna do it exactly the way you're wanting it done. But when somebody says, hey, if you can, you should show Darby more, or you should. Well, in fact, one of the right after we first started was like, you guys need to show your faces, because we didn't. We would talk, but we wouldn't show it. I was like, why do they need to see our face? I don't want to show people my face. So I think it was we were maybe 10, 15 videos in or something like that before we really actually got on the camera and talked to the camera. And that's just because we had somebody watching that was like, hey, you really need to show your face. We want to see you.
It's that connection again of there's that personal touch, that personal feeling of getting to, it's having an investment in that channel.
Yeah.
And that's really a lot of what it is, and communicating back with people. It's, if anybody, every time I go through, if I find somebody's giving me some criticism, I will make sure to respond to them, and thank you for that. Or one of the biggest ones I got was music. Because my first videos, I had music playing. I tried to keep it down light, but my criticism on that I got was, we don't want to hear the music. We want to hear what you're saying. We want to hear the background, everything going on in the background. And so I stopped doing the music. And that first video I did, I was like, oh, wow, I like this a lot better. That was a great idea.
We've actually had kind of nicely was told we needed to put music behind when we're talking and stuff. And I'm like, no, that is a change I won't make, because I know for a fact for some people that makes it very hard for them to hear the people talking. Yes. He has that problem. He can't hardly hear out of one ear as it is. And so when there's music and background noise, that kind of stuff, it actually messes up being able to hear that person talk a little bit.
Yeah.
So that is a change I won't make it, because I don't think it's necessary. First of all, if I'm talking, I don't need you listening to the music. I'm probably talking because I want you to hear what I'm saying, so, that kind of thing. But then again, sometimes I ramble, but that's beside the point.
We haven't seen that at all tonight.
No, not at all.
What was that?
Yeah.
So anybody else have any questions or anything? Yeah, it's Tanner saying just need to figure out how to balance the music and the vocals. Well, you know what? I think there's places like when you're walking, like the one where you were going up the trail, all the steps and everything to get up to the castle. Some of that when you're just walking, you're like showing the scenery. That's a great place to have some background music.
Yeah.
But then when y'all start talking, the music comes down and get that out of the way, and then you've got the narrative and everything. So I think there's places where the music is proper, and then there's in other places it can be distracting. And I got what they were saying, but
yeah.
But that again is listening. You're not going to do everything that the people who are watching you are going to say but it gives you ideas. And
yeah,
if you want to better your channel, it's good to at least take in what people say.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, like that, you've got this one person who doesn't like the music, and then you got this person that does.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't really matter which way you choose to do it. Somebody's probably not going to be happy with it. So, a lot of that, I just try to do what I feel like I would want to watch. If I hate in some of my beginning videos when I'm filming and it's like, whoosh, and the scenery is like, whoop, it's so fast because I didn't know, I wasn't experienced with, I need to barely move this phone,
Yes.
Because when I go like this, it's not like when my eyes are seeing it. It's completely different when you see it on video. And personally, that makes me nauseous. But, and so I don't like to see it in other people's videos. I don't want to see it in mine. I've tried very hard. Every once in a while, I'll still do it because my eyes see it and my camera just goes with it. So,
And that's learning as you go. And when you're editing your video, you like, oh man, okay, I need to do this better next time. And it's a constant growth.
It is, but I think if you get too wrapped up into that, you start losing the fun aspect of it.
Yes.
Because that's what we're doing this for anyways. We're not doing it to be millionaires,
yeah, because that's
that's not happening. So we're just doing it to have fun. So I think if you really start, getting into all the analytics of everything, you're kind of going to lose the whole point.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with, people giving me suggestions or saying, hey, in a nice way. I've had some pretty rude ones with actual foul language and stuff, but I just delete those just so so don't even bother. But yeah, I won't even give them the time of day at all. But I don't, like that, you really need to show Darby more, or you need to, when you get to the camp, you should show this, or you should show that. Okay. I can try to implement that, but you should wear different clothes. No, that's really none of your business. So, it's just that kind of thing. I'm not, there's going to be certain things that I will, maybe attempt to do, but there's some things, no, I'm not.
Well, they might even say maybe you need to wear less clothes.
Yeah, that's you, not them.
Well, and going back to what you were saying, Jesse, it's losing the fun of it and everything. That's in being in the moment. And being in the moment a lot of times is where as I've coined the term, the Squatch crotch shot.
Yeah.
The GoPro's here and you find something and it's like, oh my God, you're so excited about it. It's not okay. Let me check the camera and make sure that I'm getting okay. It's just like you go with it, and then I'm doing the editing, and I'm like, you don't even see what it is I just pulled up.
Right.
But you see my zipper.
Yeah.
I wasn't meaning to film a zipper. Missed the whole prize that I pulled up, but that.
Hey, Pax-a-Lot's in here. That's an awesome channel if you like hiking and watching the hiking and the cool scenery. Now they do hiking that I will never do.
Yeah.
So this is why I watch their channel, because they can go and show me those views from the big top of Baldy Mountain or whatever it was. And yeah, I'm not I won't do those. But it's really cool that they do, so I can see those views. But they do a lot of stuff in Utah and Wyoming and maybe some other states that I don't remember. Idaho, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty cool channel. You should check them out.
Absolutely. I'm making them a moderator right now too, so they can drop their link. Yeah, and just for anybody who's new coming in here, what I like to do is if you've got a channel, I like to give you make you a mod, give you a wrench. That way you can drop the link for your channel, because I love helping other channels grow. It's just part of who I am. I want to see everybody succeed. So if you're in here and you've got a channel, I'm all for helping to promote your channel. So definitely drop your link if you want to. I just got him, Mary. I saw him when I was going in there to get packs. I got JP as well. So definitely. So
that would be bad if your barn door was open.
I did.
That would be some editing there.
That would be. Just get one of the big face emojis going.
There you go.
I did have the time that not too long ago, the pair of jeans that I always wore out magnet fishing with. I bent down to pick something up and I heard. I'm like, oh, and right at the pocket, ripped, and it ripped big. So I actually did have the Squatch butt going that day. So that was a good one.
You're gonna have to be careful if you do any of that on a live stream.
Yes. Well, thankfully, I have not had that happen.
Yeah, you can't edit that out.
No, not on the live stream. You can go back later and edit it, but
yeah, but everybody who's live, they're live. Is gonna say. Do you like doing the magnet fishing lives?
I do. When I'm by myself, it's fun, but it's a little more difficult because you have to keep going back and getting up and trying to keep an eye on what everybody's saying, because you want to stay involved with the chat. If you don't stay involved with the chat, people are asking you questions and they're talking to you and you don't respond. Eventually they're like, screw it, I'm going.
Yeah.
So it's neat when I have one of the kids who come with me to hold the camera or hold the phone as and do that, because they can relay to me what's being said so that I can answer. It keeps the engagement going a lot better. But yeah, I do. I like it because, especially this past weekend with the live, it was a 2-hour live down there, and the phone went back and forth between Zach and Clay. Zach did a much better job. Clay kept looking down at the dock.
Yeah.
But like, Clay, up here, what are you doing? But it was a 2-hour live, and it was constant stuff being pulled up out of the water. So that was cool because they kept everything going. But I do. It's fun to do a live. Yeah,
we did what? 2 or 3 live streams, magnet fishing, because we don't do lives. We don't, he has mentioned it a couple times. It's just not really something. I don't mind being on someone's live, but I don't really have a desire to do my own lives. So, and it's our channel, but I kind of run it. So I'm,
just the muscle behind it.
Yeah. So, I'm like, I don't know if I even want to get that started. So, But we did do a couple of magnet fishing ones, and I actually kind of enjoyed that. That was kind of fun because, you know, we're out there and they're excited to see what he pulls up, and, you know, it's fun to watch them get it, you know, talk about how excited they are when, you know, in the chat. And since, you know, I don't do the magnet fishing, I'm just the camera, I get to see the chat, you know, as it's going. And, you know, so I kind of enjoyed the magnet fishing lives. We haven't done one in over a year.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of places that we go magnet fishing, but we don't have enough reception.
Yeah, we don't have enough signal because a lot of them are kind of away from town. So yeah, we can't even schedule one because we have to wait till we get there to see, are we going to have the signal to do it? So ours are pretty much pop up.
Yeah. That's same with me. All of my fishing lives are pretty much, okay, you know what? I've got a good enough signal. I think this might be a good spot to do it. And just right then and there, set it up and go live. And then it's amazing how quickly people will start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know there's been places that you were at, like some of the cemeteries and stuff, and you know, the towns and whatnot. Those would be a great place if you got a good signal to go live, because you can be filming it, you know, going and people talking and chatting and asking, hey, what's that say over there? And you can, you know, that would be pretty cool. That would be great engagement.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Might consider that.
Man,
that would be cool.
I love going through the old cemeteries. I hope that's not weird.
I love when you do. I really do. I think it's
cool. I mean, it's sad, but it's cool because, you know, I love to see the dates on them. And we were at one, I can't remember if that was in a video. Yeah, it was in a video. And there was these little thingies poked down in the ground by the tombstone. Well, one of them was actually at Boot Hill, but it was a different one that I'm thinking of. And it was Confederate soldiers. They had these special little medallion like things on a little thing that stuck down in the ground. And it was right next to their tombstone. And I'm like, what is that? You know, and I walk up there to see what it is, you know, and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff like that, I find it interesting. And
well, when we went to New Orleans, we went to that St. Louis cemetery.
Yes,
and
we
walked
did.
through all that, because that was
I hate
creepy.
that was before our YouTube days.
Well, you travel. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I need to go back.
Yeah, the above ground
creepy,
cemeteries. The above ground cemeteries kind of always freak me out.
Yeah, those are a little different.
Especially when you walk up by one and it's all caved in. Because
yeah,
you don't really want to look, but you kind of do. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that part of you that wants to be respectful, but then there's that part of you that goes,
yeah, what's in? I wonder if there's actually something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that famous voodoo lady? Madam something. She has her like whole thing is like covered in like little gift trinket things people's left, and it's like, whoa. And some of the stuff that was left was kind of odd, and I'm like, that's weird. But you know, but it was definitely something to see. And
well, we got to see Nicolas Cage's
pyramid looking
tombstone.
Yeah. That's weird too. I guess he still owns that. I don't know. I heard he kind of went broke and had to sell a bunch of stuff, but yeah, so I don't know. He has like a pyramid. It's not a tombstone. What do you call them? Crypt. It's like a pyramid crypt. Right. Yeah, that he has.
Weird.
Yeah, he's waiting for him to die. So yeah, it was a little strange to see that, but I mean, interesting but strange. But that cemetery, that probably beats all the ones we've ever seen, because that is just so old and stuff. Maria Laveau.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, hers was very well decorated, and way more decorated than anybody else's in there. So it was kind of like, you know, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. you know, yeah.
It's just, it's kind of creepy to think that people take the time to go do that and leave all that stuff out there
Yeah.
for them and whatnot. But
Well, I mean, I know like the money thing, there's different meanings for leaving money. You know, like a penny is it shows that someone visited, and then a nickel is I know when you get into like veterans and stuff, that you know that a lot of it is, you know, like you served with them, depending
Yeah.
whether you leave a nickel, a dime, a quarter, you know, stuff like that. There's different meanings for different ones, but you know, I don't know about, you know, some of the odd things that we saw there. I don't know what would be the meaning for those, but yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know anything about voodoo either, so maybe they had a meaning. I have no idea, but you know,
see, and that's another thing too. I know you guys have got to see some pretty creepy stuff, some pretty strange finds. So, other than that, what would you say? Just out in the regular world, not because New Orleans isn't a regular world.
yeah, that's its own world.
But out in the regular world, what would you say is some of the creepy, weird stuff you've come across?
Probably the old prison. That was a little bit before our YouTube days.
Oh yeah.
But we have an old prison up here it's been vacant for a while, and they do tours and stuff of it. And we went on a tour, and that was a pretty creepy old place. There's a lot of weird things that happen in there. So.
Yeah. That prison has been around, and I can't remember how long.
1832.
Okay. And they was still operational until 15 years ago.
Yeah, something like
ish, something like that. And it was a maximum security prison. In fact, the guy that killed Martin Luther King Jr. actually escaped from that prison and specifically went to kill him. And of course, he went back. But you know, I don't think there was a whole lot of escapes from that prison. They had some pretty crazy riots over the years
It was
that
called the Bloodiest 40.
Caused some wild stuff, but it's supposed to be haunted. They built a new prison. In fact, one of our hiking videos, I mentioned the prison in it because we're pretty near the new prison, and when we're hiking, which was a little scary, but we went and toured the old one, which that was pretty cool. It's pretty neat to see, as I like old buildings anyway, so that was pretty neat. But you know, it was a guided tour. They're, you know, giving us the little history lesson as we're going along, and we're actually in the women's part of the prison, and we had a friend of mine with us, and me and her were walking behind him. He was kind of in front of us, and the whole group of people, and there's people behind us and people in front of us, and we're walking along, and he's talking about this particular cell that some woman had stayed in, and supposedly she haunts the prison, and you can hear her singing or crying, or sometimes she'll touch people and blah blah blah. It wasn't maybe 5-10 minutes after he said that, all of a sudden he turns around and looks at us, like quick turns and looks at us, you know, and we're like, what? You know? I mean, my friend is a little bit of a prankster to a point. So, you know, I'm sure he thought she did something, and he's like, why don't you pull my hoodie? And we were like, no. And she did not. I knew she did not. And actually, we were pretty far behind him. Her little short arms, I don't think would have even reached to your hoodie. But yeah, so he thought he felt something tug on his hood, and it was right near that cell of that woman that the tour guide was talking about. So yeah, that was pretty weird.
I'm a believer in ghosts and whatnot, just from life experiences, but it's still creepy.
Yeah.
Still creepy.
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
The
Yep, Sonny Liston was also in that prison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
they actually have a cutout of him, like one of those really tall stand-up cardboard cutout pictures of him somewhere. He's standing over in the corner.
By where his cell was.
Yeah, by his cell.
The in St. Augustine they have the old prison, the old jailhouse, and they do tours there, and they don't just do a tour where it's like, okay, well, let's go walk through here, and this is what this is, and this is what this is. They've actually turned it into a whole experience where they actually have the cast is there's a sheriff, there's the deputy, but then you have your tour guides are actually the inmates. So they come up and they've got the jail outfits on and everything, and you stand in line, and then they pull so many people up that'll fit into this certain square, and it's not okay, well, welcome to the jail. This is what the show starts, and they start in on you, and it's like you are there as an inmate. You are an inmate when you're on this tour, and it's wild. It's really pretty cool. And then you go inside, and it's. I mean, they put you in these rooms, and they're yelling, and they're doing it, but they're doing it funny. So it's not like you're going there going, oh crap, I feel like it's a funny experience, but it's something else. If you ever make it down here to St. Augustine, you gotta go see the historic jail.
I think there's a lighthouse down there. Is kind of
yes.
Yeah, I want to see the lighthouse.
Yeah,
that's just because I like lighthouses. It's not because I want to see it be haunted. I just like lighthouses.
We've climbed that lighthouse a few times.
Oh yeah.
This is taking a dark turn from camping.
You never know. You never know where things
if we could film inside the prison, and we could go back and do the tour again if they would let us film inside, because that would be kind of cool. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody. I've never looked. I'll have to look and see if anybody's done a video on that on YouTube. When are y'all coming to Alaska? Is he asking us?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
I'd be there in a second.
Do it. If you can do it, do it. I mean,
man,
there's only a certain driving season where you can make it there.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be a planned trip during the summertime. But my cat hair flying all around me right now. Oreo. Like I keep seeing these hairs go by like this.
Yeah, I know how that is, because not him. He don't have any hair.
Yeah, I'll say it's not me.
She sheds a lot.
All mine flew away a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, that would be a long drive. I think Alaska looks like it would be absolutely beautiful. So that I think I would really like to visit there, and can imagine I'd fill up a lot of SD cards taking pictures. But man, I don't know if I can handle that drive. That's a long drive.
Well, that would be one where you would have to plan to be away for a while.
Oh yeah.
And but it is a long drive. I've never made the drive. When I went up there, I flew in and I flew out when I was in the Coast Guard. But I've so many people I've talked to, especially when I was in Alaska, who have made that trip, and they just talk about how amazing the trip is.
I mean, actually, somebody that lives up there, right? So we'd have somebody to stay with if we went, but he won't fly, so we would have to drive.
That's for Anita.
Yeah, it would need to be probably a month.
Yeah, it would be at least. But it's worth it. It would be, if you did it once, you would definitely start making plans to do it again. I promise you that.
You can drive up here in the winter also. Yeah, but
what is it? What do they call? It's not the Pacific Coast Highway. That's the I can't remember what they called it, but I know it used to shut down. I don't know if it still does, but they would shut it down for certain months of the year because of the weather, unless they've fixed that and changed that now.
Can you even right now? Could you even drive to Alaska? Because you got to go across Canada, and I don't know. Are they even open?
I don't know. I don't know if there's
know.
I don't know if they would stop you from doing that to get to Alaska.
I don't
That's
know.
good. That's a good question. I
I
didn't
don't
even
know how
think
that
about
would work.
Yeah.
They'd probably say, no, you can fly.
Yeah.
Around 10 above today. Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, it was. Of course, he's in North Pole, Alaska also.
49 below last week. What? No, I would not. Canada's closed. But so I guess you can't, because you'd have to go through the border, and when you go to the border, you got to show your passport and all that stuff, or they won't let you go in. So I'm assuming,
I think
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if you're going to Alaska, there's got to be some way. I mean, the two guys, there's a couple guys in here right now who would. Yeah, there you go. This is what.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Yeah. So you just can't do any Canadian stuff. Sorry, no maple syrup.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
You gotta stay on the road. What if you gotta get gas though?
Well, I think you can get gas. You just can't
Nothing out of the ordinary. No. Yeah.
Right now, you can't cross at Vancouver.
So you wouldn't be able to be going through there and pull off one of your tombstone. Let's exit now type of thing.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work. Canada is actually someplace I wouldn't mind visiting one day, though. There's a lot of pretty there too. I think that. Well, that really.
What?
Oh, okay. I thought you was huffing at me.
No.
I was gonna say, people said that about Wisconsin. Everybody's like, why do we not go to Wisconsin? Wisconsin is pretty. You get up there in the northern part of Wisconsin, it's really pretty up there.
Yeah.
I loved it. See, Canada is beautiful.
Yep.
I don't doubt it is. I'm. How can a place that would have that type of landscaping not be?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Bob Ross pictures all the time.
All the time.
Yes. Trying to weed over here too.
A 2-week canoe hiking.
Or you know what? Just take a cruise up there.
Yeah. There's that whole water thing.
Yeah, but you're on the boat.
That's what everybody says.
That's what the people on the Titanic said too.
They were on. Hey, they were on the boat all the way to the point they were no longer on the boat. So
That's true.
True. Then they were floating on doors.
Yeah, I don't think that was probably real, but it's like
you don't think the whole Jack and Rose thing was
No.
exactly what happened? That
well, if it was, what a hag was she? I mean,
Right?
really,
There was
plenty of room on that door for him.
there was a picture I saw. We won't get into the details of the picture, but it was a picture explaining why Jack never got up onto the board with her, and it had to do with a mermaid.
Oh.
And we'll leave it there.
Okay. I'm sure Alaska's a lot prettier than Wisconsin, but Wisconsin was actually pretty. Oh, and there's cheese in Wisconsin, just so you know.
Yes, I've heard.
I like cheese.
Yes, me too.
They have good cheese.
They also have bears.
Yeah, we did see a bear running across the highway as we were driving. I was like, whoa. I didn't get that on camera. I wasn't ready. But yeah, that kind of made me nervous.
Bears at the zoo, bears off in the distance, bears up close.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
No. Absolutely not. Anybody else got any questions? Any good questions for the for the two of them while we still got Happy Place Camping up here? Hey, Oregon family, how you doing?
Well, if anybody's interested, Tuesday will be the first video of our Hummer build for the overlanding. So that'll come out Tuesday. We've shortened down to doing just one video a week. We still do a short on Sunday. Well, so we're doing a short video on Sunday and then an actual video on Tuesdays. We're not doing the Thursday or Friday thing anymore. So we're just doing them once a week. It's a little harder to get the content in the wintertime, you know, because we don't go quite as much camping. We still go, but not quite as much. So I don't know if we'll ever pick it back up to 2, because it's kind of nice to not feel so pressured to have, you know, I mean, I still love doing it and have fun with it, but it's still a little bit of pressure too, to make sure you have content for running videos twice a week. So
Yeah,
we may just do it once a week, but we try to do our premieres around 7 Central on Tuesdays. But if a friend of ours that is kind of his time slot for going live, he just hasn't done them recently. And usually I'm on his live streams. So if that was to interfere, I would have to bump it back probably to like 6:30 or something like that. So somewhere around that time, if you're interested, and otherwise you can always just watch whenever, you know.
Yeah, it's one of the good things about living here is even when it's cold, it ain't cold enough to not go.
Yeah, that's true. I want to come down there when it's cold enough to see the lizards fall out of the trees, because I think that's hilarious. I didn't know that was a thing, okay? And it was probably last year or maybe the year before, something like that. Someone that lives in Florida that we know from YouTube had posted a picture in their Facebook group. And it was, you know, like breaking news, and it's showing like these lizards falling. And I'm like, ha ha ha, that's funny. I thought it was just something goofy, right? And they're like, that's real. And I'm like, oh, no way.
Well,
now I want to see the lizards.
it's the iguanas, and they were, of course, introduced. People had pets and they got out of control and they couldn't keep them anymore, and they let them loose. And then when Andrew went through and just devastated South Florida, a lot of people, you know, the zoos like were devastated, and people's homes, and a lot of these iguanas got out. The golf courses are known down there for, you hit your ball, and before you get to it, there goes your ball with an iguana.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They will come and pick it up and go run off with it. And it happened to me more than once when I was down there. Yeah. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. They are just about as numerous as the regular little lizards that are, you know, are down here. And it does happen with the falling out of the tree thing. It doesn't happen that often because we don't often get that cold,
right?
But it does, and they sure as heck will fall out of the tree. And there's actually warnings. Do not pick them up and think, "Oh, look, a dead iguana," and go throw it in your car, because when it warms up, it comes to while it's in your car.
It kind of reminds me of Tommy Boy when the deer comes back. Like,
yes, yes.
That would be a really good YouTube short.
That would be, wouldn't it?
So the any big trips planned, we have several in our brain that we're wanting to do. Utah will probably be one of them. Southern Utah specifically. Because we really kind of want to do like that Grand Escalante area and stuff like. I don't know. We haven't discussed it enough and planned, like set a full blown plan for it, but I don't know if we'll do all those parks that are there. I like the fact that the Grand Escalante is, you know, it's like free. It's not, you know, and we can camp on it, and you know, and it's not like Zion busy. You know, I'm sure Zion's beautiful, but from some videos I've seen, this place is really pretty too. And we could take our time going through it. We can stop, we can camp, then we can take our time to finish going through it and, stuff like that. So, that is one of the places that's kind of on our list to go. Glaciers, of course, another one. We actually kind of just the other day kind of sort of talked about Maine. And one of the reasons to not take the camper would be tolls, because we hear tolls are killer, and also like low bridges. And we've heard crazy horror stories about GPS taking you down these places and then you can't get through because the bridge was so low. And I'm like, we're not real tall, but we're not exactly short either with that trailer. So, so that was kind of something else that, we definitely, are kind of thinking about maybe doing. And we figured that Maine would be, because I want to stop along and see these lighthouses and go up the coast and, all that stuff. And that could be possibly difficult pulling a trailer.
Right.
So, we were thinking, it might actually be easier if this all works out. We can just, kind of take the Hummer and just do that. So.
And it seems like with the Hummer, it'd be a much more comfortable trip anyways.
Yeah. I just think it would be easier, a little more convenient, get in and out of where we want to go really easy. And, and that thing, I'm telling you, that thing has a really good turn radius. So like we can almost turn that on a dime. And even without the trailer, that truck is like a freaking barge. I have never driven anything. I feel like that part in Austin Powers when he gets stuck between the two walls trying to get the little forklifty thingy or whatever he's on out of there. That's what I feel like driving that thing pretty much anywhere. So it's not my favorite to drive.
No tolls up the coast, though.
No tolls up the coast.
So we'd have to pay tolls to get to the coast.
Yeah.
Once you're there.
Well, what is it's like is it Pennsylvania that's some of the highest tolls?
Yeah.
I think is what I've heard. I don't know. We haven't really like delved into it a lot. It's just one of those, we might, that's a possibility. We always try to research that kind of stuff before we travel. We like to have an idea. Are we going to have to pay tolls here and there? And, Oklahoma's gotten us for a few bucks here and there, but their tolls are a little high.
Yeah. Well, we've got the toll roads here now too, with the turnpike, and the turnpike that can get expensive. Thankfully, I don't have to travel on the turnpike much, but Jacksonville years ago got rid of all the tolls, and now they're starting to implement the tolls again. So, but back then it was no matter what, you went across this bridge or you were on this road, you were paying the toll. Mm-hmm. But what they've done now is they've made basically the HOV lanes, and it's during rush hour. So like in the morning from I think it's 7 to 10, it's 50 cents to be in these lanes, and then after that it's free. And then from 3 to 7 in the evening, it's 50 cents. And then after that, it's free. And that's just to help kind of reduce the congestion getting people over there on those roads. And
I'm just not a fan of tolls. I mean, we paid them, Kansas has them. Missouri doesn't have any yet. They've talked about putting toll on I-70. I'm like, man.
I know, right?
But, I mean, we live here, so we can figure out a way around. When you're traveling and you're in another state, you're kind of like, ooh, I don't know if we should go off the, path.
I still try, though.
Yeah.
If you really, really try, there's always a way to get around them. But they also do help a lot with the convenience of getting where you're wanting to go.
Which is why Oklahoma gets some of our money when we go through there, because
it cuts a lot.
It cuts a lot of time off to take I-44 through Oklahoma.
Well, you're going to pay for the convenience, that's for sure.
Yeah, we did. It was, I think, $20 or right at $20 or something like that. So But it, whatever. But, I think what irritated me more was, you pay, then you drive up a little bit, and then you got to pay again. Then you drive up a little bit, and you got to pay again. How many of those
Yeah.
did we stop at? I don't know. It just seemed like there was a ton of them. It's like, just collect one time and the $20 and just let me drive all the way through.
That's what Kansas
That's
Yeah.
what Kansas does.
Well, I think the reason they do that is because you've got other on ramps,
Mm-hmm.
and if you just had one toll booth, everybody else would get on after the toll booth.
Well, see, Kansas puts a toll at the exit. So if they get off, is it what they get off? They got to pay. Yeah, if they get off, they got to pay at that exit.
Yeah,
so
that's what they started doing.
You kind of have to.
I think the Turnpike does that now too. When you get on, they'll give you one, and then you go, and when you finally get off, or they down in South Florida, what they've done is actually on the on ramp, as you're coming up the on ramp, before you're even on the road, the toll is there. So you either stop or you go through. They actually have it where they do the toll by plate. So if you don't have the Sun Pass or money, they'll bill you through that, but it costs a little more because of the admin.
Yeah.
But it can make traveling a lot easier because, you avoid a lot of the high traffic, because normally the toll roads are less traveled. So they're a little more open. But yeah, I can see how that would raise the cost of your traveling.
I guess Illinois tolls aren't too good either. According to
Johnny, they're bullhorn.
Yep.
Well, and also I wouldn't mind paying tolls if the roads were really good.
Yeah.
Tolls and the roads are full of holes.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like, well, what are they doing with the money?
Yes.
I don't know.
There is no telling. So everybody's off over here on the roads now.
Yeah. We've covered a lot of subjects this evening.
We absolutely have. No kidding.
No tolls down in the middle where I live. Chicago is a mess. Never been to Chicago.
Well, they're putting in a whole new, not really interstate, but
Indiana has tolls now. It's been a long time since we've gone that way, because it seems like everything we've done has been more west or north. So or south, yeah. So I didn't realize Indiana even had tolls, because at one point in time they didn't have them. Because we went all the way through Indiana, Ohio, into Pennsylvania. We didn't pay tolls in Pennsylvania either, did we?
Nope, we would buy the toll.
That's been a little while ago, though.
All right, so I touched on this a little earlier in the live, and I wanted to get back onto this, and we kind of briefly discussed it about your video. Let's talk about that bucket potty.
Okay.
Because that as weird as a conversation as that is, that's an interesting evolution, and especially how you guys went through it.
So I
had never seen one of those until I saw your video. I'd never seen that before.
Okay, well, I am obviously a girl, and I don't have those parts that allow me to stand up and do business easily. And so I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I need a toilet. If we're going to have a camper, I want a potty. So we kind of did some research looking around, and, we're like, okay, this one's kind of cool, So it is a bucket that sits inside of kind of like a casing, basically. And then it has a lid. Well, it has a seat. It has a toilet seat that's separate. And then it has a lid that comes down over it. And you keep the lid on there. It helps keep, everything inside, the odors and stuff.
Right.
Well, for starters, we had seen, hey, use kitty litter. A lot of people use kitty litter. And so we're like, okay, so we go get kitty litter. We even got a good brand, like we'll use the kitty litter. Of course, most of these people aren't, doing number 1 in it. They're only doing the number 2. So when the kitty litter gets moist from the number 1, it does not last very long. It
Right.
starts to get that clay likeness to it, and then it, the odor, it just, it won't cover it. And so we were changing the bag out of it, and it is mostly my use, not his. He can go outside by a tree, but it's mostly mine. And I try not to really do the number 2 in it unless I absolutely have to. If we're somewhere that has bathrooms, I will use that if they're not disgusting. But we've run across a few gross ones.
I bet.
But I'm older, and late nights, it's kind of like I'm not getting up and going tinkle at 4:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, 2:00 in the morning. It's pitch black outside, and walk all the way up to this, campground potty because I gotta, do my business. So, that's where we got the potty, we got the kitty litter, and the kitty litter just wasn't holding up. We were having to pull it, out, pull the bag out, all, pretty regularly. And it was actually starting to cost a little bit of money. Well, then when we met I Ride Tiny House Adventures, who I talked about earlier, they have a composting toilet. They have that cargo trailer build, and they have a composting toilet in it. And he's like, we were kind of talking about it. He's like, you need to use pine pellets. And I'm like, what? Pine pellets. I'm like, what's a pine pellet? I don't, horse bedding. I'm like, oh, you can get it like, I don't remember where he mentioned, but Tractor Supply is usually where we get it. You can also get it like Orscheln's and, farm stores. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll have to try that. So we went and got a bag, and these bags are huge, 40-pound bags of pine pellets, but they're only $6. Well, I haven't bought any for a while, so they may be higher now, but they were only like $6 for that big old bag. And that's right, I do know. I don't know what I know, but I do know. So, we started using that, putting I kind of made a mistake because the first time I used it, I didn't really know. It was experiment, so I put a lot in it. Well, I didn't know those things expand when liquid hits them. They expand a lot. And the more liquid that hits them, the more they expand. So I had almost an entire, what is that? Probably a 5-gallon bucket is what the toilet is. Yeah, I had almost a full bucket of pine pellets, fluffy pine pellets, because they had expanded with that liquid.
It's almost like seeing a cake expand up in your when you're afraid it's going to go over the edge.
I wasn't for sure that it wasn't going to is this time I take the lid off, it going to just go, pop out like popcorn or what? It didn't. Luckily, it stopped growing, kind of like a cheetah pet or something, and just kept growing. But yeah, so I learned not to put so many pine pellets in there. And actually, I think it's like, it's probably about, everybody always asks, how much do you put in there? Well, I don't measure it out. I just pour it in there, and it's probably about an inch and a half or so, 2 inch maybe in the bottom, and just kind of spread it out evenly. And, everybody wants to know, how long does it last? Well, I can't really tell you that. It depends how often you use it, because if you use it really frequently, you're going to have to change it more often than somebody that only goes in it a couple of times a day. So, I kind of think I'm a little above average on the possibly, because I, drink a lot of soda, a lot of water. So I seem to be going a lot. So, I would say, most people can probably get away with what I do, which is usually like 3 to 4 days on the one bag and whatever helping of pine pellets. I don't know how you want to put that, but so that whole video was just really me discussing how we switched from kitty litter to pine pellets and kind of like why we did. And it just started picking up momentum and just kept going and going and going and going and hit over, 100,000 views. It's been on our channel for 2 years,
Yeah,
probably right
close.
around 2 years. And just like this year, for some reason, it just started blowing up. I don't know if it's from people doing more builds and they're looking for answers to the potty thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it got big and funny. We laugh about it, we make jokes about it because, we have all these awesome videos of places we visited and our most popular videos about pottying. But well, actually now our most popular video is a short from Darby. It hit 310,000 views.
Right
Yep.
on.
It was just her chewing leaves. All the funny shorts we've done, and it was her chewing on leaves.
It's you just don't know. It's like on TikTok. It's amazing. You put together this really cool TikTok of like finding a gun or something, and it barely gets touched. But then a video of like pulling up a cast net, and I haven't reached that many views, but I'm pulling up a cast net, and it jumped like that.
Yeah.
So
it's really weird.
And it's a lot of it's the algorithm too. The right people liking it and commenting on it at the right time, and it blows it up, and more people see it. But a lot of it too, I think, like you're saying, it's people doing builds, because there's definitely a lot of builds out there, and I've
it's getting more and more popular. I think. I mean, I think it's been popular-ish, but I think especially in the van build, it seems like that van build thing is just blowing up. We have one YouTube friend, and she's actually from Missouri, and she has a van build of her own. That girl, she is talented. She talk about a carpenter. Yeah. She's it's a beautiful. Johnny's Journey is her channel, but her van build is gorgeous. And she was a nurse, a registered nurse, and then she went to doing travel nursing, and then she has recently decided she's going to put that on hold, and she's going to do van builds. She's starting a business. That's how popular it's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's already got, she's doing one. Well, she was till she went on a cruise. But she's doing one van build right now she's in the middle of, and I believe she has 2 more maybe or something like that already. Yeah. And so it's a thing. It's a big thing to do for the van build thing.
We are
absolutely.
We're the potty masters. Oh.
Well, listen.
It's a horrible video. It's a terrible video. And I've had a lot of pretty hateful comments on it. One guy, my favorite comment on that video, and I deleted it because I don't like negativity, and he was just being flat out mean. But he was like, I sit here and blankety listen to this blankety video for 7.5 minutes, blankety la la la. And I really just wanted to reply back and say, thank you so much for watching. Because he sat there for the whole time watching this crappy video. What was he waiting for? It wasn't going to change.
Right? Well, it's not your fault he sat there and watched the whole. If you weren't liking it, move on.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Then the other one that is a close second was the one that said that they didn't understand or something. They weren't really rude about it, but they couldn't understand why the video was just me pointing at the toilet or something like that, and that they wanted to see how it worked. And I'm like, what? They want to see me use it? I don't. What did they want to see? I don't know.
It don't have a toilet.
It don't flush. It don't. What were how it works? Well, you sit on it and you go.
You need to get a little toilet handle and like
Sure.
glue it to the side.
Oh,
sure.
that would be funny.
And then edit in the sound effects.
And edit the sound, yes.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
how many people fall for it.
Yeah, I don't know. We've had some really hateful comments on that one, but like I said, I don't give those people the time of day. I just delete it. If they can't leave a comment without 50 cuss words in it, I'm not interested. I'm not even going to sit there and read your comment. I'm just going to delete it. And if you're just going to sit there and just try to be mean, and there are people that do that, I just delete them. I don't even answer back. And so, don't waste your time if you just want to be mean, because I'll just delete it. It don't matter to me.
There's some people I think who they're not happy unless they're making other people unhappy.
Trying to make other people miserable. Yeah. So, and it really doesn't bother me. You know what? Say whatever you want. I don't care. You're the one that looks like the.
Yeah.
So, not me. I'm just going to quietly delete your comment so it doesn't offend my good viewers, so.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you take my joy from me. That's for sure.
Right. No one real with the honey bucket. Don't spill it. Well, I will say, if I do knock that one over, as long as it's, done properly, it's just fluff. I mean, stinky. Well, it's not really stinky. It smells like pine.
If that's fluff you can clean up.
Yeah.
But it's like, sweep it up. No, I don't have to, like, it's not wet. I mean, it is. It's damp. Well, I don't know. You know what I mean. It's not just like liquid flowing around all over the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of camping. And especially if you don't have a bathroom that is close or a clean, usable bathroom that is close, you got to have a place to go. Yeah. So, and when you're in a tight space like that, that's where the creativity and the ingenuity of what you guys do with the builds. You go camping and you're out there and you're like, well, you know what? This happened, and how do I fix this? How do I make it better next time? And you make it better next time. You fix something. It's like what you're going to do when you go out with the Hummer. You're going to take it out there. You're going to learn, and you'll create something. And somebody will see you do that, and they'll take that idea and they'll create something, and maybe that'll lead to another creation. And so there's a lot of neat ideas around what you guys are doing. And I think it's why it's so interesting. Even the potty thing, it's just a potty, but it's like, how many people had never seen that before? And they're going, you know what? I mean, it's a potty, but that's pretty cool.
Well, I refuse to dig a hole and hold on to a tree. I'm not going to do that. Well, I would if I absolutely had to, but I don't absolutely have to, so I'm not going to do it.
You need to invest in a Shiwi.
I had one of those, and those are not easy to use. They are horrible.
Well, and that's when I told her, welcome to my world.
Whatever. You got those things, if they are not positioned absolutely perfect, it is a mess. It's worse than your worst drunken night trying to it's bad.
If you shake the Shiwi more than 3 times, you're playing with it.
Get the dew off the lily.
Yeah.
But it's a strange subject, but it's those strange things that actually get people's attention. So, it's what it is.
Yep.
So, anything else interesting you got guys? Coming up? I'm getting tired.
No, not really. I mean, the next few videos are probably mostly going to be the Hummer build. Unless I squeeze in like that, we've got one campground one we haven't put out yet, and we've got a magnet fishing one we haven't put out yet. But, it's pretty much going to be the Hummer build probably for the next at least 2 videos, maybe more. kind of want to see how it goes through the holidays. I don't know. Views are a little harder to come by during, December and January months, and especially around the holidays. So
Yeah.
that's funny.
Mary, most men have bad.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with that.
Well, and the other problem with going to the bathroom in nature is you got to make sure you're using the right leaves.
Yeah.
Just pick up a pine cone.
Right. Well, that's fine. Never mind.
Oh.
It's like the bear going up to the rabbit. Hey, rabbit, does your poop stick to your fur? Well, no, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
Yep.
With a great view. Oh, that's funny.
Goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
we did a hike video. I don't know when was that when we did, probably a month or so ago or something like that, and we went up there to hike, and we're walking along, and there's like this bench, you're supposed to sit there and be able to see the view, right? And you sit down and you turn around and it's nothing. It's brush and trees, and you can't see the view because everything's grown up, and so you can't see anything. So, and we found a few benches like that, and in different areas, and so now that's our little running joke about the benches with a great view. He actually I think it was the last video he did. Was it the last one? Yep. And he actually ran across a pretty good. Actually, I think his bench was better than ours, and it looked at nothing too. And so, I think that bench might have been dedicated to me. I don't know. This is pretty fun. Now it's kind of like, now when we go, we got to look for all those benches with the weird or no views. Why would they put that there? I don't get it.
So one of my, I think, funniest things was we could have driven up here.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 330, 50 something. I can't remember now. Stairs. And we climb all the way to the top to see this old burnout castle. And we get up to the top and there's a parking lot and you can drive up to it. And we spend, I don't know, an hour and a half walking up those, hour and a half walking up those stairs and across paths, and and then we get up to the top and you can drive up there and park, and but
yeah, but you would have missed out on the whole experience would have been gone.
Right.
Right.
Wouldn't have got to hear me complain about climbing the stairs. And
yep, I'd rather just drove and skipped all of it.
Yeah. You'll know next time.
Yes.
Yeah. I like to hike when there's something to hike to. So, and I mean, it doesn't have to be like a building. It can just be a really good view or a pretty waterfall. But I'm not a big fan of just, I guess maybe you'd call them nature trails, because all you see is trees and birds, and I mean, you can see those sitting in your yard. You don't necessarily have to walk. That seems pointless. So I like to have a destination. I like to have a place to go.
Well, it's sometimes if you're an outdoorsy type person, just being out there, just walking through and just seeing the nature and the birds and the squirrel, and it's just it's fun. It's relaxing. You're away from everything. You got all the noises of what's going on out there. Sometimes just hiking with no destination except hopefully back to where you came from is a good thing.
Yeah, and yes, there is a sign, but I don't read signs, so Oh, I hate reading the signs. I always leave it's when I do these videos and we stop at places that have these big old. Oh my gosh! Sometimes they've got like a book on these signs, and I'm like,
Yes.
I don't have time to read all that. Okay, if you want to pause and read that, if you want to pause and read that, that's what I.
Hey, you do that a lot. Pause and read. Pause and read.
Now he will read them. He'll read the stuff, and then sometimes you'll hear him rambling off about whatever, because he read the sign. I don't read the signs.
But you know what? It's sometimes it is better just to say pause and read, because it gives them the chance to stop and do what they're doing. Because sometimes if you're sitting there reading, it almost takes away from the flow.
Yeah.
So that's normal. A man who never reads signs.
Yeah.
Outhouses can have the best views too. There you go.
Yeah, but you got to make sure the little crescent moon is cut down low enough so when you're sitting, you can see through it.
Yeah, because you ain't doing it with the door open. That's all.
That just invites trouble.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this was fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys
fun.
for being here. Absolutely. I think we had a great chat going on over here. Very interactive with you guys, and chatting and asking questions and talking about everything that was going on. So I think this was a very good, very fun, very informative. Got to learn a little bit about you guys.
He just keeps the door open.
I can believe that from Johnny. I really can. Absolutely.
No, but he's in Alaska. I mean, who's going to see?
The bears.
The moose.
The moose.
The moose come around there. Don't use all the toilet paper.
Yeah. That's funny.
If you see a flying squirrel and the moose, that's when you get concerned. So,
yeah, we had a great time. We appreciate you having us on.
Yep.
Absolutely. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Just simply, like I said before, because you give me a chance to go places that I may never get a chance to go to. Hopefully one day I will, but right now I can't. So it's neat to see America and these campsites and everything you guys do through your eyes. And because I've seen things that I didn't even know were out there watching your channel, and which has led me to other channels who I've watched and seen some really cool things. So for a lot of us, that might be the only chance we get to see things like that. So really appreciate you doing what you do. You guys are out there traveling, you're getting to live life together, live, laugh, love, and all that good stuff, and bring us along with the adventures.
Story go around. You got to do what you can do.
That's right. 100% amen to that. So we'll bring it to an end here. I got to get a hold of Sally, being my first winner of the Squatch members only race. And we'll be doing that again next month. So hope to see you guys around. I can't wait to see the build from the Hummer. That's really going to be interesting. I've got to see some of the members only pictures.
Yep.
That's
members
cool.
Got sneak peeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
So
all right.
Thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody for coming in and hanging out and keeping up and being so interactive. I really do. Thanks again. Guys, you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend.
Everybody.
You know what I like to say?
Other hand.
Make sure. Oh, Modern Native just shows up right when we're getting ready to. Guys, Modern Native wants to say hi. If you haven't seen Modern Native, he does a lot of the outdoorsy builds, and he's got.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you would like Modern Native's channel. You really would.
I don't think I've seen that name before.
Look that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out Modern Native. I'm not going to do a very good description of his channel, and I'm sorry, but it really is a very interesting channel to go take a look at. So, cool. But we're getting ready to sign off here, Modern Native. Sorry, brother. So, but make sure you leave the place a little better than you found it. Stay squatchy, y'all.